boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel. You can tell it's a pretty big crowd when they are all around the Normins Oval.
Yeah, you can, mate. Yeah, and obviously a belter of a day to be out here and getting amongst finals footy, mate. So, as you say, pretty even coverage right the way around the ground.
Alrighty. We're not too far away from the bounce of the ball for A-grade oils and batteries. So much on the line between these two sides. Yarrawonga looking to advance through to their third grand final in a row. Of course, they are the reigning premiers. And the Wangaratta Rovers, Dan, they haven't featured in the grand final since 2002. Of course, their last flag was in 1994. So much to play for the brown and gold.
Absolutely, and they've got such a rich history too, Panda. They've got some great success, as Alex Marklew would know with his father, and all those players from the past. So they've got to do a lot of people proud this September.
They certainly do. So both sides in their respective huddles.
We're going to do a tip?
We are indeed. I was just wait. I usually try and wait a little bit, Dan. Okay, well, who are you picking, Dan?
I am going to go and upset.
No, you're not.
Wangaratta Rovers.
It's because he's got his Hawk scarf on.
Brody Philo, best on ground, 30 disposals, and he'll kick 2.
All right.
There you go.
What about you, Scam? Boundary side for the Newmarket?
Yarra for me, boys.
Sensible.
Bobby J?
Yeah, I'm with the smart man at Scam. I'm Yarrawonga boy, 8 goals today. They're going to open him up today.
Scam, I also want you to have eyes on who leads the huddles for the Wangaratta Rovers, because, of course, Sam Murray is a playing coach. He is suspended. He is not allowed on the ground. So it's going to be very interesting to see who takes the huddles and the messages at the Wangaratta Rovers quarter and three-quarter time. So make sure you watch out for that, please, Scam.
I will, mate. I'll keep an eye on that.
I reckon.
They came out of that huddle pretty fired up too, the Rovers boys here. So be interesting to see what happens the first 5 minutes. Obviously, Yarra having the week off last week, so we'll see if Rovers can't get the ascendancy here early.
I was just going to say, I reckon Sam Murray will be as close to that bench as possible.
So
within a millimetre.
Late changes as well, if you just joined us for the Wangaratta Rovers. Out of the lineup is Sam Catapan. He has been replaced by Cam Chamberlain. So the one late change for the Wangaratta Rovers, while Yarrawonga are going in as selected, we believe, at the moment. So we're ready to go here. So much on the line. A ticket into the big dance at the Lavington Sports Ground on the 22nd of September, up for grabs between Yarrawonga and the Wangaratta Rovers. And we're underway for A-grade oils and batteries. And there's an early whistle. And it's going to go the way of Yarrawonga. Was that centre square infringement?
Centre square infringement off the half-forward line.
So Lockie Howe, a floater forward for the Pigeons, bounces in front of Casey. Ben Kennedy sticks his big jukes up, and he's tackled straight away by Will Nolan. And we'll have a ball up inside forward 50 for Yarrawonga. We'll watch the match-up soon. We'll go down to Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel and find out who's playing on who. Dan Howe around this footy. Gibbons was clean. Got a little rush kick away. Perry Lewis-Smith put 1 minute out and dropped it at the last minute inside 50. And we'll have a boundary throw in on the far side of the ground. Bobby Jackson.
One notable lineup. Dan Howe's on the far wing outside. We had a Willie Wheeler in the middle with Gibbons and also PLS with big Dan Howe. Lockie Howe rucking for Yarra.
Boundary throw in inside 50 for the Pigeons, kicking to the club room's end. There is Dan Howe on to Bobby J's man, Perry Lewis-Smith. Kick towards the top of the goal square. I reckon it's tumbled out of bounds for a throw in. It'll be tossed back in adjacent to the point post. The Yarrawonga end of the ground. Liam Scammell, just some match-ups boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel.
The main one to keep an eye on, boys, is probably Lockie McCartney's gone to Willie Wheeler at that first centre bounce. So it'll be interesting to see. We spoke about that tag pre-game, so I'm interested to see if that sticks.
Damon has grabbed that out of the ruck. A bit of a one-handed hand pass there. Good pressure from Gibbons, and another stoppage inside forward 50 for Yarrawonga.
Just another match-up there. You've picked it. Ed Damon starting in the ruck, and Shane Gaston starting deep with Matty Holgate picking him up in the forward line.
Damon, good position. Taps it down to Philo with a clearance. Edge of defensive 50, far side of the ground. Coming through was Dan Howe. Really good tackle by Will McCarthy, and we'll have a ball up. Edge of 50. A few stoppages here. Early stages opening term for A-grade oils and batteries, who've played 2 minutes for NZ here in the semi-final. Wilson tried to claim a mark that wasn't 15. He jammed it on the boot straight away, but Yarrawonga has set up well, and Ned Pendergast intercepts across the middle of the ground. Wants to use the ball aggressively, not allowed to. Goes out really wide. Good mark by Ryan Bruce. It's like a fine wine, just keeps getting better, Ryan Bruce. Goes inside forward 50. Howe, resting forward, takes a mark. Tied up against the boundary. He's going to have a shot here from 47 or so metres, Lockie Howe.
Yeah, he just stayed back after the stoppage. I'm not sure if he's resting forward or just didn't move from the clearance there, Panda.
So he checks his kick at the last minute to the top of the goal square. Oh, in the hole, taking a lovely mark, I reckon was Cam Wilson pushing back. It certainly was. That was courageous. It's either a chop of the arms or a mark.
They reversed it.
It's been reversed. What for, Bob?
I think there's a bit of retaliation because young Wilson got hit from behind and they retaliated to the treatment that Wilson got, so therefore the free kick has been reversed.
Deary me. So Cam Wilson with a shot on goal. And Jace McQuaid's kick out of defence has been marked by Ryan Bruce. So all the play inside the forward half of the ground for the Pigeons, early stages opening term. Sets it up once again, allows the Talls to run and try and take that one. Tom Boyd in there. Allison was ripped off the footy. Dylan Stone was pretty clean. On to Dill Wilson. Clearing kick out to the far wing. All Yarrawonga Pigeons there. Good result though. Boundary throw in far side of the Normins Oval. And we still got no score in this opening term, Dan Vaccaro.
Yeah, but what a hot start for Yarrawonga. 4 inside 50s already. The territory battle's well and truly theirs in the opening minutes. Dan Howe, Mick Gibbons and Perry Lewis-Smith getting their hands on the footy early.
A boundary throw in. Bathes in sunshine, the Normins Oval on second semi-final day. And there's Gibbons once again. Prolific early. Kicks it to half forward. Harry Wheeler was there. Went one-handed. Swooping on this footy was Lockie O'Brien. We know how much of a smooth attacking player he is. Takes a couple of bounces. Kicks to half forward. Marklew over his head. Holgate there. Defending. Alex McCarthy has to do a bit of hard work. One-handed pick-up. Set sail from 45. And it is to the near side, through for a minor score. Good clean play there from Alex McCarthy. The Rovers one behind, Yarrawonga yet to score.
Nice run from half back there with Lockie O'Brien breaking the lines with a couple of bounces and hitting the ball inside 50, so that's a good sign running from behind the ball.
Dan Howe marks from the Pendergast kick in at half back, far side. They got the overlap here. Gibbons has it on centre wing. Kicks to half forward. Wheeler out the back. Takes the mark against Parnell. He's got players streaming inside forward 50. One of those is Wilson. Almost got hit by the umpire. Wilson will play on from 45. Drop punt is across the face. Almost marked by, I think, Ben Kennedy on the last line, through for a minor score. End-to-end play from Yarrawonga. One behind plays one behind on the Steel Line scoreboard. Dan Vaccaro, we've played 4.5 minutes for NZ.
And what a start by Mick Gibbons as well. He's had 3 disposals on the 40-wing stat sheet in the opening 5 minutes. And the other player for Rovers, who we mentioned earlier, had that great run off half-back. Lockie O'Brien has had the 3 disposals early as well. So big names getting around it early.
We'll go boundary side soon for the Newmarket Hotel to Liam Scammell. That's a really poor kick there from Xavier Allison. It floats out of bounds on the full. And boundary side for the Newmarket. Yarrawonga with all the ascendancy.
Yeah, they are, boys. It's quite warm down here. I tell you, Yarra's right on top, but it is a warm day. Certainly feeling it on the cycling track down here.
You certainly are, with the jeans on as well. Interesting choice.
That was a mistake.
It was indeed. Just like Maury's kick, because Allison is intercepted for the Rovers. Goes towards the wing. Lockie Howe was the meat in the sandwich there by Gaston, who bumped him over, and we have a boundary thrown right in front of our broadcast position where Travie Cartwright will give you the camera shots. The best in the business, Travie, for O&M Snap Print Solutions TV. Here's Blues playing tonight, same with Bobby Jackson. I reckon you're absolutely no hope. Just quietly up against the lines. Gaston with a tap down to Philo. Able to get a hand pass to McCarthy on the wrong foot. And it's out of bounds on the fall. And the Yarrawonga Pigeons will... and a disposal, a 40-wings disposal for Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel.
Wasn't great on the left-hand throwback there, boys. But,
how good is that?
We'll
Monty's been chasing one of them for years.
Just keep a tally of my stats there too, boys.
Absolutely.
Okay.
As you said, Scott Montgomery has never done that before, so you're one up on him. Ball in scrimmage at half forward. Wilson, little grubber to Perry Lewis-Smith. On to Willie Wheeler, who sets sail from 50. Willie Wheeler hits the post. Geez, he looks dangerous, Willie Wheeler.
They look sharp all around the ball, Panda. The sharing of the ball between the big guns, Perry Lewis, the Wilson boys, and also Gibbons, they're sharing the ball very well out of stoppages and winning that battle early.
2 behinds, plays 1 behind on the Steel Line scoreboard. Yarrawonga with an early lead. We've played 6.5 minutes. Marked on the line by Casey, or a goal, because he's kicked one. Take your pick. A goal to Yarrawonga. I'm not sure if that's to Matt Casey or Dan Howe. It was marked on the line by Big Matty Casey.
I reckon it was Matty Casey. I think he marked it ahead of the line and then just played on and swung it around the body and kicked a brilliant goal. And what a fantastic start for Yarrawonga. They've had 7 inside 50s, 3 marks inside 50 as well, so extremely potent, and all their big names are getting their hands on the footy. Mick Gibbons is starting to cause some headaches out on that far wing and into that forward 50. Willie Wheeler's had the 3 disposals. Dan Howe's had the 3 disposals. So Rovers, a bit of damage control early is needed.
A bit of a strange opening goal, Liam Scammell, for the Newmarket Hotel.
It was indeed, boys. I think to Casey in the end, but pretty hard to tell.
Philo out of the middle, grubbers it forward for the Rovers. Rare inside 50 early stages, just over Pendergast's head there. Applies a good tackle on Mark Lou, tied up against the boundary. Bruce lost his footing. Stewie Booth with his head over the footy. Good tackle by Pendergast, and in the end, the boundary line is the friend of the Yarrawonga Pigeons, right in front of the scoreboard over there, and it'll be tossed back in 40 around from the Rovers goal. 8 plays 1 for Steerline. Yarrawonga leading in the grand final qualifier, semi-final day at a packed Normins. McCarthy around this football. Wheeler
dragged that in.
Jumps on him, and umpire says, give it to me, Bobby. Ball up.
I'm impressed with the way the Yarrawonga back 6 works together as a collective. They're zoning off when they need to and helping out the third man up whenever opportunity arises.
Howe and Damon doing the rucking. Oh, going in hard there. An ultimate fasteners, tough nut of the day play from McCarthy. Irvine missed Lockie Howe with the hand pass, and O'Brien tries to worry him out of it. Well done, Allison. Fair way up the ground from half back. Gets a 1-2 from Finn Osborne as Allison. Inside 50. Just went with out of the footy. And a nice spiral torpedo. It was a low one out of defence from the line to relieve their play over there. And we'll have it throw in. Far side of the ground. 8 plays 1. Bob Jackson for Macrae Motors.
It just seems to be a bit, a few plays slipping over in crucial stages there. So we might get scammed just to have a bit of a look at that at quarter time. It just seems that players are losing their footing in the most crucial time in a contest.
Well picked up, Bobby Jackson for Macrae Motors. Working hard there is Damien Wilson. Not sure he got a hand pass to that one. Good tackle from the Rovers. Gatto had to bend down really low at ground level.
Oh, great, mate.
Wasn't helped by the hand pass to the big fella. And Holgate goes back in defence and takes an intercept mark. Dan Vaccaro, early stat winners for 40 winks.
Yeah, well, for Rovers, it's probably Xavier Allison. He's had the 5 disposals on the 40-wing stat sheet. Dan Howe, Willie Wheeler and Mick Gibbons have all had the 3 going forward. And Yarrawonga, 7 inside 50s to Rovers 4 at this stage on the 40-wing stat sheet.
And Liam Scammell, not too many rotations because the ball's been camped on that far side of the ground for the Newey.
It has, boys. 11 minutes in, the ball's been camped on the far side and just the 1 goal as well, so they haven't had much chance to rotate at all.
Boundary throw in. Gaston doing a bit of time in the ruck there. Perry Lewis-Smith with a hand pass. Whistle. What'd you see, Bobby Jackson?
Throw. There's been a throw against Gibbo on the far side. You got the binoculars, mate. You probably got a better view than what I did.
You've got the glasses, though, so...
That's a long way over there.
It is. My eyes aren't that great. As Stone with a shallow entry. Brave there from McCarthy. Damon went without the football. Whooper Irvine on him. And we're going to have another stoppage inside attack here for the Wangaratta Rovers. Getting a little bit of territory in their forward half, Dan Vaccaro.
Yeah, they are. They're up to 5 inside 50s now. So starting to wrestle that territory battle back, but they need to find better targets in the 50.
We've got an A-grade netball update soon for Ray White Rural. Yarrawonga taking on the Raiders. As McCarthy puts his head over the footy and was pushed off it by Irvine. O'Brien working hard for the Rovers. Didn't have the ball. And I reckon O'Brien is going to get a free kick. 65 out here. Rovers kicking to the Evans Street end. Beautiful looking kick towards Mark Lou. Once again just slipped over. And Pendergast takes a relieving mark for the Pigeons. His kick wasn't great to Gibbons. Put him under pressure. Hand passes it to Lovell. Checks his kick beautifully to Logan Morey. And he marks it half back. Broadcast side. 8 plays 1. Yarrawonga lead for Steerline. And Tom Boyd not able to intercept across the wing. Dropped an easy mark in the end, and we're going to have a stoppage right in front of us. Dan Vaccaro for 40 winks.
Yeah, turned into a bit of an arm wrestle now, this contest, as mentioned earlier. 7 inside 50s for Yarrawonga, 6 for Wangaratta Rovers, and Lockie O'Brien's been good on the 40-wing stat sheet. He's up to 5 disposals early.
Alrighty, inside 50 here. Yarrawonga with a beautiful hand pass to Koopman. Left foot dribbling kick is through for a minor score. And Yarrawonga moved to 1 goal, 3-9 to the Wang Rovers 1 behind.
I'm sure they'll be wanting more bang for buck Divac. Just they're getting a little more cleaner football into their forward 50, and a lot more space into the forward 50 when Yarrawonga decided to go that way. I just think that they haven't got enough bang for their dollar when they go inside 50. I feel as though they should have had probably 3 or 4 goals on the board by at this stage.
Yeah, agree. They've got to be a little bit neater going inside 50. They've had the 8 entries, but yeah, yet to find scoreboard pressure.
Xavier Allison with the kick-in duties for the Rovers. Comes to the far side, looking for Damon. O'Brien spun out of traffic beautifully. Went with a no-look hand pass towards Osborne, and in the end, Gibbons comes across and will have a boundary throw in right in front of Liam Scammell, looking for his second touch for the Newmarket Hotel.
It'd be nice, boys. I'm a little bit too far away, but I'll stay on the hunt.
Be busy around the stoppage, Scam. Boundary throw in. O'Brien been prominent early, wrapped up by Dan Howe. The two former AFL players, about 170 games between those two. Bobby Jackson at the highest level.
Yeah, both very good players for a long time at the at the AFL level.
Perry Lewis-Smith sends a high one inside forward 50. Ball was allowed to hit the deck. Cam Wilson grubbers it forward. Kennedy's going to run onto this and run into an open goal and kick Yarrawonga's second. Great play from Cam Wilson. And the Bushranger, back in for his second game of the year, hits the scoreboard early.
Just as we said in pre-match, the bang from Buck, when they get from the clearance, they were plus 27 last time they played, and there we go. They get a stoppage here at centre wing. PLS gets the ball inside 50 and out the back, and young Kennedy finished off beautifully. He's got a bright future, that young fella.
Yeah, super start here for Yarrawonga. 9 inside 50s for them. And
15 plays 1. Yarrawonga with a 14-point lead for Steelline as Stone goes inside forward 50. Looking for Lewis, the smallest man there, and Yarrawonga exit defence. And a beautiful kick finds Nyholm on the far wing. Wants to come inboard aggressively. Checks his kick, falling over and taking a wonderful intercept mark was Tom Boyd. Kennedy just lost his footing, and a lot of players are slipping over Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel.
Yeah, perhaps just that far side of the ground more so than this side, boys, by the looks.
The Rovers want to switch the footy. Ledger over to Chamberlain. The late inclusion for Sam Catapan, who was laid out onto McCartney here. Does well to keep the footy in. In fact, it was Parnell. Pumps the Rovers long. Bruce wasn't able to mark. Gibbons onto Wheeler. Gibbons with a little kick away. Looking for Nyholm. Garish intercepts in the middle of the ground for the Rovers. Goes out wide, finds Elmer Fudd. He's going to win a free kick. Right in front of the grandstand. It's against Pendergast, and Marklou's within range.
Not sure about that free kick. They're a little bit soft on the decision there, I do believe. But all the forwards just seem to get the rub of the green every now and then. But he's worked hard to space there, and Ned got caught out watching the ball there for a little bit. And Elmer Fudd takes the mark. He'll be kicking from just outside the paint, I reckon, Panda.
22 goals in his last 5 games. He is in good form, is Alex Marklou. He'll kick from 50. 45-degree angle, certainly has the journey. Does he get the draw back? He doesn't. And it's across the face, through for a minor score. So the Yarrawonga Pigeons 2-3-15, letting the Rovers 2 behinds. 16 minutes for NZ in this first term for A-grade oils and batteries. Dan Vaccaro?
Yeah, that had to go through. They've had 8 inside 50s now, Rovers, and still yet to find a mark inside 50, so they need to be a bit more potent. But Lockie O'Brien, he's had the 6 disposals on the 40-wing stat sheet, so he's playing a really good quarter, and Xavier Allison 6 respectively as well.
So kick the ball out of bounds here, so the Rovers will get another chance to go inside 50, nice and deep.
They will through Charles Ledger. Sets a high one up towards the top of the goal square. Marklou was pushed under the foot. He wanted a free kick. It was exuberant play out there by Elmer Fudd, and we're going to have a boundary throw in right next to the point post. Still camped in the Rovers forward 50. And breaking news for Ray White Rural, Yarrawonga are through to another grand final in the A-grade netball, beating Raiders 51-46. That called beautifully by Tam Ree and Liv Sinclair. McCarthy just going without this footy, top of the goal square. Rovers end of the ground. Holgate working hard for the hoops in defence. And Perry Lewis-Smith gets a high one against Alex Marklou. He's got the 6-pack out, Perry Lewis-Smith.
Settle down, Bob.
We got matching 6-packs.
Oh, dearie me. Perry Lewis-Smith goes out wide looking for Wheeler. Garish, though, works hard for the Rovers. He put Dylan Stone in hospital almost with that hand pass. Garish goes back, left foot kicks a high up and under in front of the scoreboard. Coming over the top with a nice fist was Booth. Wilson wrapped up by Wilson.
One thing that's really impressed me, Panda, is the way Yarrawonga set up defensively. There's time and time again that Rovers try to spread them with their wingers, as we spoke about the way they played last week, but they just seem to be set up really well defensively when they haven't got the ball or when they've got the ball leaving the defensive area.
Perry Lewis-Smith again, clearance. It's not a great kick down the line. And we're going to have a ball up, far side of the ground, just forward of the wing, favouring the Wangaratta Rovers. 2-3-15, the Pigeons, leading the Rovers 2 behinds on the Steel Line scoreboard. Opening term for A-grade oils and batteries. Go around the ground soon. Dan Vaccaro, who's asleep for Mr. Stowe's Pool World. Find out what's happening in the TDFL. Of course, preliminary final day out there. Chilton up against Kiwa Sandy Creek. And then, of course, later on, we've got GWS up against the Giants. The battle of the up against the Swans. The battle of the bridge, Bobby Jackson.
Yeah, that's a good distraction for me for the game later on tonight. I think a Sydney team will win that one.
Of course, your Blues up against the Lions. O'Brien, the former Blue, gains 60 metres for the Rovers and will have a boundary throw-in. Still camped in front of that scoreboard. Liam Scammell, I reckon we've had 5 boundary throw-ins from that position in the first term.
Yeah, we have, boys, and you just notice both sides lined up on the boundary line trying to get bench players back on. With it being stuck on the other side, the guys just can't get back on. Willie Wheeler, one of them here.
Another boundary throw-in. Perry Lewis-Smith getting a push in the back, wanting a free kick and not getting one. And we have another boundary throw-in right in front of that scoreboard. So just repeating for Ray White Rural, Yarrawonga beating the Raiders 51-46 in the A-grade netball second semi-final. So Yarrawonga through to another grand final as Gibbons brings down McCarthy. And we have another ball up. Lots of stoppages early, Bobby Jackson. You'd expect that in a big final.
Yeah, it's a little bit of slingshot footy that both sides are relying on. The entries that they've had have been off the back of stoppages in their D50 and really rebounding hard into the opposition's zone. So that's what the game plans from both sides are very similar at the moment.
Dill Wilson tied up against the boundary. His kick is not good. It's out of bounds on the full, and the Yarrawonga Pigeons will reload deep in defence. Inside 50 numbers, yeah. Dan Vaccaro?
Well, the really interesting thing, Panda, is that Rovers have had the most inside 50s. So 11 inside 50s for them for the game and only 9 for Yarrawonga. They're just not getting scoreboard pressure at all.
Would it be fair to say that none of those entries have been threatening, though, Dan?
No, there's no mark inside 50 for Rovers at this stage from 11 entries.
So they need to clean up that ball use. And we have another boundary throw in, once again on the far side of the ground. That's where the breeze is going, towards the Ovens River. As Liam Scammell said pre-game for the Newmarket Hotel. Allison with a bit of work to do. Great tackle by Harry Wheeler, holding the ball. And the Pigeons are rewarded just forward of the far wing. Wheeler onto Dan Howe. Good ball user. Switches the footy beautifully to Logan Morey. He can load up here from 55, Logan Morey. Checks the kick out the back. It's been marked by Wheeler of the Willie variety, and he will line up from the top of the goal square.
Just changed lanes beautifully there, and Logan Morris swung onto his left foot and absolutely nailed Willie Wheeler to the top of the goal square. Perfect play by changing lanes and getting a fast entry.
Who's being tagged is Willie Wheeler. He pushes forward and kicks a Sunjan goal today, and Yarrawonga got 3, and they look really dangerous. 3-3-21, leading the Wang Rovers 2 behinds at the 21-minute mark for NZ. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
The difference in this game has just been the fact that Yarrawonga are able to score when going forward. They've had 10 inside 50s, they've been potent, they've had 4 marks inside 50, and Wangaratta Rovers, they've had 12 inside 50s, yet to take a mark, so their value for their entries, Bob, isn't good enough at the moment on Rovers' side of things, but Dan Howe, he's been fantastic. 6 disposals for him on the 40-wing stat sheet. Perry Lewis-Smith, Michael Gibbons and Willie Wheeler all having the 5 disposals as well.
Just a bit cleaner away from the stoppages at the moment, Yarrawonga, aren't they? They seem to get the ball in cleaner.
Back in the middle. Gaston against Howe. They're winning it out of the middle, are the Rovers. Just not getting any ascendancy. Gerish dodges around one, fires out a hand pass towards Big Shane Gaston. Lockie Howe applying a good tackle, and we have a stalemate far side of the ground. How did Willie Wheeler push so aggressively forward then, Liam Scammell, for the Newmarket Hotel? Did you catch that work rate?
Boys, yeah. They finally got a rotation in and he just snuck forward straight off the bench and then looked like he rotated back through to the middle after that goal. But, yeah, straight off the bench for that one and found himself loose deep forward.
That's clever. Experienced, just work his way to where the ball's not and let it unfold in front and then picked up where he left off back in the middle. So fantastic play by Wheeler.
So goals to Casey, Kennedy and Wheeler give Yarrawonga a 19-point ascendancy in the opening term as the Rovers spiral one forward. Damon does well. Roving this beautifully was Booth. finds a hand pass to Mark Lou, who just fumbled, wants his right, snaps it around the corner. It's a high up and under. It's through for a minor score. Almost brought rain on a blue sky day. And Alex Marklew has now got 2 behinds for the Wangaratta Rovers, who move to 3. 3 behinds, trailing the Yarrawonga Pigeons 3-3-21 for Steelline in this opening term for A-grade Alls and Batteries. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Yeah, well, they've had 13 inside 50s and they're yet to register a major score, so that's the concerning thing for Rovers at the moment, and no mark inside 50 either.
O'Brien able to shoot out a hand pass back towards centre half forward. Gibbons onto Wheeler, and Urquhart kicks the Yarrawonga Pigeons into the middle of the ground. Good defensive fist from the Rovers, lands the way of Charles Ledger, goes out wide to O'Brien. He's 2 kicks from home, right in front of Liam Scammell for the Newmarket. Wants to change lanes and kicks beautifully over to the far side. Garish marks in the middle of the ground. He's got a team out wide in Osborne, decides not to go to him. Hand passes to Stone, still outside attacking 50, the Rovers. Lead into the pocket comes from Marklew. Ball just bounces in front of him. Has to retreat back to Osborne. They're once again outside attacking 50. Lowers the eyes looking for Damon. But getting in the hole beautifully was Jordan Urquhart. Takes a defensive mark for the Pigeons. Goes quickly though. Wasn't a great kick, and Garish is allowed. And he goes short here to Brody Philo. Still 2 kicks from home, the Rovers. Yarrawonga getting back with numbers. Kicks it into the pocket, looking for Mark Lou. And the ball goes out of bounds for a throw in, Bobby Jackson.
Just set up so well behind the ball, Yarrawonga, at the moment. They identify that the dangerous space, and on-ballers and wingers shuffle back and cover the dangerous space, and makes it tough for the forwards to lead into. And yeah, I think the bear in the square philosophy may need to come into it for Rovers, so they've got big Ed in the goal square, somewhere to kick to.
Dan Howe, his clearing kick doesn't go very far for Yarrawonga, as Lockie McCartney is brought down by a big Pigeon tackle, and we'll have another stoppage inside forward 50 for the Rovers.
I just feel as though Alex Marklew, he's the go-to man at every entry at the moment. I think someone else needs to step up and give him a hand and give him a chop out and give him a different avenue to goal.
Philo kicks it out of mid-air. Marklew tries to cleverly tap it back towards the goal. Damon brought down, finds a hand pass at ground level, and we've got another stoppage. Yarrawonga holding on for dear life in defence, Dan Vaccaro.
Yeah, they are. 15 inside 50s Rovers had, and he's still yet to kick a goal, Bob. So their defenders are under a fair bit of siege, Yarrawonga, but they're holding up.
Late stages opening term. We've played 26 minutes for NZ. As Urquhart clears defence for Yarrawonga and finds a boundary throw in. Once again on the far side of the ground, about 70 around from the Rovers' goal. Goals to Casey, Kennedy and Wheeler give Yarrawonga a 3-goal lead in the late stages of this opening term for A-grade Alls and Batteries, as the Morris Medal winner for Yarrawonga and their captain Lee Masters limps along the boundary line right in front of us. Gee whiz, they love him out there today, Bobby J.
They certainly do, but as we spoke about the defensive setup of Yarrawonga, and you see it in a lot of European soccer where a lot of clubs are comfortable with the ball in their back half, and it seems as though Yarrawonga seem to be that type of side where the ball is camped in their back half, but their defensive structure and defensive setups make it nice and comfortable for them.
Great tackle there from young Will McCarthy, bringing down Dan Howe, and he's going to load up here for the Rovers. 65 from goal. Likes a late lead there, and Stewie Booth drops an easy mark. Took it too casual, did Stewie Booth. He would have had a set shot from 30 metres out directly in front, and it went straight through the mids.
As Divac has said, the numbers are piling up inside 50s, and to drop a straightforward mark like that, Divac, you can't afford to have that in finals.
16 inside 50s now for Rovers, no score, no major.
So another ball up. 40 out from the Rovers' goal, doing all the attacking. I feel like the ball has been camped in their forward half for the last 15 or so minutes. Damon trying to find a hand pass, and he's been pinged for a throw. Yep. Jace Rain, the non-officiating umpire, says, Big Ed, you threw it. And Lockie Howe,
Mr. Ed,
is going to have a free kick in defence here for Yarrawonga, who lead by 3 straight kicks. 21 plays, 3 for Steelline. We'll go down to the boundary. Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel as Cam Wilson just runs onto the ground. Pause that, Liam. We'll come back to you after quarter time, eh? That was a bit of a lacklustre, I reckon, opening term in the grand final qualifier. But Yarrawonga won't mind. They lead by 3 straight kicks. 3-3-21 to the Rovers, 3 behinds. And we went 27 minutes in that opening term. We'll be back on 2AY, 3&E and O&M Snap Print Solutions TV on the other side of this. Stay with us on O&M Live. You will not miss a thing.
What's your future look like? Where do you want to be? Shaping lives through nursing? Building communities through community services? Maybe caring for animals through veterinary science? With GoTAFE by your side, you can make it happen. From agriculture, hospitality, health and wellbeing, trades and education, to hair and beauty or creative, learn real skills for real jobs and careers right now. With GoTAFE, you've got this. Search GoTAFE today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
.0% alcohol. This changes everything. Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
The rumours are true, we're heading to the Riverina. That's right, 5th quarter camps is heading to Albury and Wagga Wagga this October. We'll be in Albury on Tuesday the 8th and Wednesday the 9th of October. We'll then be in Wagga Wagga on the 10th. Isaac and I will be bringing plenty of our teammates along for the journey. We can't wait to see you all there. Head to 5th quarter camp's website for more details. See you soon.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Half price until half time is on in the locker room. Watch Friday night AFL footy action live on our big screen and get half price selected beers until half time. On now in the locker room at the SS&A.
The Ovens and Murray Football League is proudly sponsored by Opal. Thinking packaging? Discover Opal.
OMFNL live on 2AY.
Second term not too far away for Jaco, Albury Wodonga, and the Yarrawonga Pigeons hold a 3-goal lead at the first break. 3-3-21 to the Rovers, 3 behind. Skulls to Casey Kennedy and Willie Wheeler in that opening term. Gives them a 3-goal ascendancy. Dan Vaccaro for 40 winks. And of course our McRae Motors caught us best. What do you like in that opening term, Dan?
Oh, I just really like how, potent Yarrawonga were going forward. They only had 10 inside 50s. but they were fantastic in terms of getting it in there. And the Craig Motors caught its best for Yarrawonga. Dan Howe, he had 7 disposals, and he was fantastic. And then over for Rovers, it's probably Lockie O'Brien. I felt like he injected a lot of run for Rovers, and he had 8 disposals on the 40-wing stat sheet as well.
It's almost a stoppage game at the moment, isn't it? And it's who flinches first will come away with some real progressive with the football in hand. But it looks as though Yarrawonga team seem to be using the footy best at this stage, away from the stoppages and heading forward.
Dan Vaccaro for Mr. Stowe's Pool World. I think the game of the TDFL, the prelim finals, just started. Why is that?
It has just started, so I'm not too sure why. We'll try and find that out in the meantime.
Overtime in the twos.
Possibly. There you go.
There you go.
Exactly why.
I thought you may have known, Dan.
Shaky. But the score in the ones has only really just started, but Swans kicked the opener, so 6-0.
Alrighty, we'll go to Liam Scammell, who was boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel. I reckon Scam's just gone out to that far side. Why do they keep slipping over, Scam?
Yeah, I had a look, boys. No reason to be seen, really. There's nothing wrong with the deck at all out there. It looks, pretty well perfect. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe the wrong boots, but the deck looks good.
What huddle were you at, Scam?
I popped into Wang, mate. Sam Murray definitely taking the address there, which we discussed pre-game. So definitely Sam Murray out there, yep.
And what did he have to say? What was his main message?
I missed the main message, ducked out the back. He was spending a bit of time with big Tommy O'Brien, though, just talking body position and that with the big key there. So, wasn't right in amongst it, though.
Sam Murray, just a little nod there as well. The coach for the Wangaratta Rovers, who would love to be out there today. He just said, I want to be out there taking a mark.
He must have got an exemption to coach.
He must have. And I think that's common sense, if I'm being really honest, as the coach.
Yep, I agree.
So he is out there addressing his side, who trail by 3 goals. It's fair to say that opening term may have just been one to forget, Bobby Jackson.
It was very uninspiring, to be polite.
I was going to say you've been very polite. Just
the ball seemed to be stuck out that far side. Scam, is there a little bit of a breeze to force that ball out the far side?
Yeah, it is going across the ground, and if anything, probably slightly favoured Yarra that quarter. So we'll favour the Rovers this quarter. Just had a quick chat to my offside here, Gussie McLeod, who was right in amongst it. The Wang messages around creating a bit more space inside 50 and the quality of use going inside 50 as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes
spot
sense.
on, because the Yarrawonga Pigeons really got back and defended in numbers. It was a clogged up forward 50 for the Rovers. But how many entries did they have again, Dan?
So Rovers had 16 inside 50 entries. They had no marks and didn't register a major in that first term, Panda.
Yeah, well, hence that messaging that Scam just had then. They want to clear out the forward 50 and give their forwards a bit of an opportunity to lead in and have some uncontested, where they're just one-on-one with their opponent instead of one against 4 or 5.
That was a pretty poor siren blow as well. Lasted about half a second here at the Norman's Oval, but we're underway in the second quarter.
It's not a bad day, really.
Absolutely. As Barry Lewis-Smith goes back in hard at ground level and hand passed really to no one. Oh, Bobby J.
That was funny, Bob.
That was.
I knew you brought you here for a reason.
Exactly right. Well, you were late down the highway, Dan.
I was here. You just didn't let me on so you can build up the story.
No, our man Dan
ready to
Vaccaro
go.
is wearing his Hawthorn scarf.
Not taking it off.
Carrying on like a pork chop as Lockie Howe tries with a big don't argue with McCarthy. David and Goliath style.
Good tackle, young fella.
Yeah, big tackle. That's a team lifter for the Wangaratta Rovers.
And to have your youngest player on the list in the team to do that sort of stuff against the biggest bopper on the field, it's got to give some sort of lift. But what it's done is it's clogged up that forward 50 again.
All Pigeon numbers inside defensive 50, and that's what happens. The kick was shallow, and Logan Morey gets back in the hole for Yarrawonga like a good winger does and takes a nice intercept mark. He's going to stay towards the broadcast side. Goes down the wing. Howe sticks the dukes up, not able to mark. Koopman went with a little toe poke. Boyd here for the Rovers. Onto O'Brien. That's a better kick. Lowers the eyes, finds Damon. Still too far out to score. He's going to wheel around on the right here. His kick is once again, it was too late, Bobby. You were pointing for that in the box, but Logan Morey gets back in the hole and takes a second intercept mark inside 30 seconds. Kicks down the wing. Casey came into that pack late. Howe's brought down by a big tackle from Ledger. We have a ball up right in front of Dan Vaccaro for the 40 Winks.
Wangaratta Rovers have almost doubled the inside 50s for the game and still haven't kicked a major. I'd love to search the record books of how many entries you can get before scoring a goal. They've had 18 and no goal.
Willie Wheeler went without the football. Oh, Philo with a bit of candy and a bit of spin magic, and the hand pass wasn't all that great. We've got a boundary throw in right in front of Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel. A little bit of twisty turn there from Brody Philo.
To quote Snoop Dogg, they've got to sort their you-know-what out in that forward 50, Panda. That's just a clogmire in there.
It certainly is.
Snoop.
Boundary throw in Once again, Damon spending a lot of time in the ruck. Here's a bit of open play for the Rovers. Dylan Stone with a big swooping 30-metre hand pass to the centre of the circle. Finds Alex McCarthy. Lockie O'Brien with elite running power. Provides an option on the far wing. Ball just bounced in front of him, and he gives away a free kick for a hold to Ryan Bruce. He kicks to half forward. Wheeler punches it towards Kennedy. A fumble there from Williamson. Allows Ben Kennedy to get the footy. His kick, though, wasn't great. Didn't go very far at all. Allison at half-back. Onto Stone, onto McCarthy. Had to get rid of it quick because Williams was going to cream him. Hand pass was intercepted by Wheeler, and he's been brought down and tackle. Ball up, 55 out from Yarrawonga's goal.
Just not clean with the ball in hand at the moment, Rovers. Turnover, and they had clean footy through the middle on the far side where the kick just didn't go to hand for Lockie O'Brien. And then again, a link of handball throughout outside their D50, didn't hit targets. They've just got to tidy things up here, Rovers. They're getting plenty of football, but just not clean enough.
So is that because of Yarrawonga's pressure, Bobby, or are the Rovers just not using the ball well enough?
The midfield pressure, and the wingers are playing different roles. The Yarrawonga wingers are actually squeezing the hell out of the Rovers midfield at the moment.
Clearing kick from McCartney goes to the far wing. There's McCarthy brought down in an Urquhart tackle, and we'll have a ball up just forward of the wing.
And what I mean by that is the wingers in Logan Morey and also the far wing, they're squeezing and not going too wide, so closing down the centre corridor. So the Rovers have got to be really clean through the middle, and that's where the pressure is for Yarrawonga.
Still no score in this second term for Jaco Albury-Wodonga. A 3-goal lead to Yarrawonga. Here's Perry Lewis-Smith. He's dangerous in these situations. Sends a high one inside 50. Oh, Kennedy! Too good in front of Parnell. And he takes an elite body and paint mark of the day, and he will line up for his second 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
This kid is long and strong. You boys have said that he's whacked on a lot of weight from last season to this season, and the one game that he's played this year, I was actually at the game, and he was really impressive. Long and strong and sticky hands.
So he played 4 Allies games in the National Championships, 8 for the Bushies, and kicked 2 goals in his one senior game against Wangaratta that Bobby Jackson just spoke about. Lining up for his second here to the Evans Street end. Drop punt on the way is skinny, and it's through from minor score. So Yarrawonga moved to 3-4-22. The Wang Rovers 3 behind. So we played 4 minutes for Enzo. We might go back down to the boundary in beautiful conditions to Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel.
Yeah, just more space going inside 50 there for Yarra. It's like clear one-on-one contest, which is what you want as a forward.
As Allison has the kick-in duties, goes short, lowers the eyes to Tommy Boyd. Taking the most intercepts for the year has big Tom Boyd for the Rovers across half-back. You've loved his move, Dan Vaccaro, for 40 winks?
I do very much, and just around the grounds of Mr. Stowe's Poor World, it's Chiltern Swans 2-1-13, plays Kiwi yet to score.
There we go, TDFL preliminary final day. Out in the Hume League as well, we have Holbrook locking horns with Osborne. The winner to go straight through to the grand final. In the O&K at North Wangaratta, we have Bonnie Doon playing Bright as well, Bobby Jackson. So
massive crowd there early doors,
yeah,
massive.
Yep, it was massive. As Dan Howe is wrapped up in a tackle by Ed Damon.
Just on the Holbrook game today, I did hear a little whisper last night that the coach of Holbrook was unavailable, and Robbie McKinlay is holding the clipboard today.
Wow, that is a bit of breaking news. Oh no. Courtesy of Dan Vaccaro, as Michael Gibbons runs out of space, and we'll have another boundary thrown once again camped out on that far side of the ground. Good crowd in though. I reckon we're probably pushing 2,500.
The far side's nicely packed, isn't it?
In the sunshine, beautiful 18-degree day here on second semi-final day. Of course, don't forget tomorrow, big game. The Magpies up against the Hoppers, do or die, and we'll bring you that one on O&M Live. As Perry Lewis-Smith wraps up Brodie Philo, still camped out on that far wing, just forward for the Yarrawonga Pigeons, who have kicked the only 3 goals in this ball game. Gibbons out of the clearance, floats it towards half forward. Beautiful slips mark, has not been paid to Allison. Bit stiff there, Bobby J, on defensive 50.
Yeah, that's out on a Saturday afternoon in Albury, Cricket Albury-Wodonga, particularly playing against St Pat's, against Scams Mob.
Yeah, claim it.
Absolutely. Send him off at mid-wicket. There's McCartney. Hand pass to Allison. Calm head finds Jack Gerish, tied up against the boundary. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full, and Yarrawonga will go in once again through Ryan Bruce. He's looked good since he's come into this lineup. Has Ryan Bruce missed a lot of footy with a syndesmosis ankle injury. As Whooper Irvine kicks it into the pocket. Where's Williams not able to mark? Once again, Tommy Boyd with a beautiful defensive mark for the Rovers. His kick just finds Williamson, though, into the defensive pocket. Kicks to a one-on-one. It's Booth versus Urquhart. Urquhart does well with a fist, but he's given away a free kick, Bobby J, for McRae Motors.
perfect opportunity to move the ball quick, and the ball's sitting stagnant on the wing. They've got to get the ball back and get the ball moving quickly. Now, have a look at the Yarrawonga team. They've piled in behind the ball and defensively set up. You can see each player instructing his teammate to be in a space that's dangerous and defending the ground as a team. So this is going to be tough for the Rovers here.
That's why they're the stingiest defence in the competition. They rank number 1 to Yarrawonga as Booth kicks towards Mark. I reckon he was almost Falcon then was the FUD. He grubbers it though off the deck, looking for Williamson, but once again the Yarrawonga defence doing really well. Wilson's hand pass though asked a lot of Pendergast. Lewis Smith retreats back to Bruce and he finds Gibbons. Defensive side of the wing, 22, plays 3. Yarrawonga lead by 19 points.
10 disposals for Gibbons as well on the 40-wing stat sheet. Playing a really good game.
On the CMV truck and bus scoreboard as Casey Marks on centre wing. Does he get a 50? He doesn't. Jess Koopman, the only one in attacking 50 for Yarrawonga. Ben Kennedy now there, and that's where he goes in the direction of Kennedy. Tussling against Allison. Working hard there is Frontfelder. He'll want a left foot, and he'll kick a Sunjan goal today. Watch him celebrate, Basil. That was too easy in the end, and Yarrawonga moved to 4-4-28. The Rovers 3 behinds, 8 minutes played for NZ. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Well, that was Bailey Frontfelder's first registered disposal for the game, so he had a slow start, but really good finish by Bailey Frontfelder. They've had 14 inside 50s and they've kicked 4 goals 4. Wangaratta Rovers have had 19 inside 50s and have kicked 0 goals 3, Bob. So that is proof in the pudding.
Oh, that'd be so frustrating for Sam Murray and the Wangaratta Rovers coaching staff that they're not getting any sort of reward on the scoreboard, but the Yarrawonga go in there once and they get it straight away.
Brody Firelight with a big high up and under out of the middle towards Mark Lou. Ball out to bounce in front of Osborne, and we have a boundary throw in 50 around from the Wang Rovers goal.
And around the grounds for Mr. Stowe's Pool World, the preliminary final out at Kiwa Sandy Creek. It is the Kiwa Hawks 1-0-6 place Chiltern Swans 2-1-13.
That one being live streamed out there as well, I think. The TDFL, which is great to see, courtesy of O&M Live. Scotty Montgomery out there, Lukey Francis. Of course, they'll bring you all the action tomorrow.
Big names.
Do or die elimination final between the Maggies and the Hoppers. So 28 plays 3 here for CMV Truck and Bus at the 9.5 minute mark for NZ. 25 points the lead here to Yarrawonga. Made the most of their opportunities. Bruce, defensive clearance. There's a whistle. It's going to go the way of, I think, Big Leroy. First time we've called him today. He's been well held by Jace McQuaid. Williams, defensive side of the square, kicks to half forward. Floating up and almost marking was Nyholm. Gaston, hand passes to Allison, on to Williamson. Philo wants his left foot. Kicks to half forward. Damon on a searching lead. There we go. Takes it out in the juice.
Oh, but look straight away. There's 2 or 3 Yarrawonga players filing in behind him, so that's just too slow here.
Too slow.
Way too slow.
So he plays on straight away. Lead comes from Marklew. Wasn't all that good. Got a little nudge from Pendergast. Ball hits the deck. Nyholm flicks it out to Irvine. He hand passes to Pendergast, and once again Yarrawonga is so organised in defence. Frontfelder, never seen him kick on his right foot in his life. Forced to do so down centre wing. One-on-one between Wilson and McCarthy. Wheeler comes in, lends a hand. Screws around his body. Ledger tries to fist it over the boundary line. Allison doing well at half-back. No-look hand pass, puts Ledger under the pump. Yarrawonga through Kennedy now. Go forward. Nyholm bounces off his chest. Kicked off the ground by Casey. Koopman at ground level, up against Boyd. Dylan Stone does well. He almost kicks a point. Goes back that far, and Williamson marks on the last line of defence for the Wangaratta Rovers.
They got back so quick, the Yarrawonga players, in their own D50. Elmer Fudd had 3 plays to contend against on a straight-out lead into open space. 3 Yarrawonga players converged on the space, and he had no chance. So they've got to move the ball quicker to give Alex Marklew and the forwards a better opportunity, at least have a crack at breaking even in a contest. At the moment, they've got no chance of breaking even, purely because they're outnumbered 3-1 every time.
Poor kick out of defence as well. Trickles over the boundary line from the Rovers, and Yarrawonga have a throw in a dangerous position. Williams doing the ruck work against Big Gaston. Lewis Smith flicks it out, but it goes straight to a Hawk. McCarthy screws it around his shoulder and tries to clear as far up the ground as he can. Stone, hand passes it to Gaston. Edge of defensive 50, lowers the eyes, but it's over the head of his target, which was Marklew. Pendergast comes in ball with a beautiful aggressive kick. Finds Damo Wilson. He's got Whooper Irvine in the middle of the ground. Doesn't really favour him, but Whooper does well to mark it. Puts his teammate under pressure. Really good work there from Wilson, but he's given away a free kick. It's going to go the way of Lovell.
Arm chop.
Thought he may have been just a little stiff. Edge of the
stiff.
square, broadcast side. Kicks into a congested 50. Williams edges his opponent under the footy. Out the back, O'Brien's the first one there. Clever tap back towards Boyd, who had a fumble. Little grubber kick. I think that's from Kennedy. Bounces towards goal, but Williamson getting back and rushing it over the boundary line for a minor score. And the Pigeons go to 4-5-29 to the Rovers, 3 behinds at the 12th minute mark for Enzo. We might go down to the boundary to the Newmarket Hotel. Liam Scammell, the work rate of Yarrawonga defensively is amazing to watch.
Yeah, it's been massive, boys. They're getting numbers behind the ball really well. Just quickly, just had Xavier Allison come off complaining a little bit of a corky as well. He just did a bit of a walk up the boundary and had a chat to Sam Murray. I think he's okay, but just one to keep an eye on.
Been good today too, Xavier Allison. He's up to 10 disposals on the 40-week stat sheet.
Watch out when you're down there, Bobby J and Scotty Montgomery, because Liam Scammell's coming for you. He's dominating on the boundary for the Newmarket. A free kick out there. It's big Benny Cokill for Yarrawonga.
Ooh.
Hands it off to Pendergast, who runs into trouble and gives it back to Cokill. He sends a quick entry inside 50, but the Rovers were set up well, and Parnell takes the mark. Called to play on. Clears with a big long one. Finds Mark Lew on the wing. 29 plays 3. Rovers yet to kick a goal at the 13th minute mark of the second quarter for Jaco. Mark Lew's kick not good. Bruce likewise dropped an easy mark in the end. Philo swoops on it. Here's a bit of open play. Kicks it to Wilson. First time they've got out the back all day. But Yarrawonga get back well in numbers to fill the hole through Gibbons. Wilson kicks into the pocket. Not a great one. Will it sit for Lewis? It does. He gets pushed over the boundary line, and we will have a throw in deep in attack for the Wangaratta Rovers.
Yeah, 22 inside 50s for the game, Wangaratta Rovers, and have still yet to kick a major, Bob, so it's starting to get a little concerning for them.
Oh, it's frustrating. We were sitting here watching what's going on, and they just held up the ball, and Yarrawonga ran 5 or 6 plays into the D50 and clogged up all their space that they had there. They could have got the ball in nice and quick. Just so frustrating at the moment.
Gibbons must have run 200 metres then to get back in defence and fill that hole.
Yeah.
So a ball up, secondary stoppage in attack for the Rovers, still trying to find their first goal in this second quarter for Jaco, as Perry Lewis-Smith clears for Yarrawonga. Nolan does well with a defensive fist. Ball camped around half forward here for the Rovers. Lewis-Smith once again picks it up, kicks to a one-on-one. Williams against McQuaid. Williams with about 3 to beat. Does well, hand passes towards Koopman. Parnell working hard in defence for the Rovers. Off to Chamberlain, the late inclusion. On to Nolan. Left foot kick down the boundary line. Doesn't favour his teammate. Bruce does well. Coming in here was Lewis. Gets his hands free. Got swung around in a tackle. And in the end, the boundary line wins out. Just forward of the wing here for Wang Rovers, who still have not kicked a goal. 4-5-29 Yarrawonga to the Rovers, 3 behinds on the CV Truck and Bus scoreboard.
Around the grounds for Mr. Stowe's Pool World out at Kiwa Sandy Creek. It is Kiwa 106, plays Chilton 4-1-25, so got the early jump.
Of course, winner to play Yak and Dander in next Saturday's grand final, which we will call on O&M Live and 2AY next Saturday. And a free kick here going the way of big Shane Gaston, the Frenchman. Looks a bit sore, Liam Scammell for the Newmarket.
Yeah, got up. Hoblin there, the big fella.
Always looks sore. Big Gatto.
There's a lot of him.
He's a champion of the Wangaratta Rovers. Goes deep into attack. A poor entry again. Benny Cokill gets back in the hole and takes another intercept mark. So boundary side for the Newmarket, Liam Scammell. Yarrawonga working so hard in defence, and the Rovers just can't penetrate.
Yeah, you're spot on. I mean, they spoke at quarter time about trying to create a little bit more space and the quality of use going inside 50, but really haven't been able to deliver on that in the first, 15 minutes of this quarter.
Allison onto Nolan. Once again, a rushed entry here for the Rovers. Mark Lew camped out the back. Pendergast stays down. Big tackle there from McCarthy. Spills the way of O'Brien. He'll want his left foot if the ball sits for him. It doesn't. Yarrawonga once again get across in numbers. Over there and running past the ball was Garish. It's socket out of defence for Yarrawonga. First one there is McCarthy. He can hand pass to Booth. Does that. Garish lends a hand.
So I just got Tom Boyd limping off here too, boys, and Big Gaston as well after that heavy knock. So 2 big Rovers limping off at the same time.
Yeah, well done. Well spotted, Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel. There's a free kick on the far side going the way to Stewie Booth. He's 65 from home. It's a clogged attacking 50 once again for the Rovers. And it's a big high up and under entry. Big pack, off hands. Who can rove? Who can do some magic? Ryan Bruce wrapped up tackle inside forward 50.
It's almost as if Yarrawonga hang their hat on their defensive side of the game more so than their attacking side, and it's a badge of honour to a certain degree, isn't it, the way they've sort of defended.
Lewis came through with pace, wasn't able to get a kick away. Osborne onto O'Brien. He's a left footer, snaps towards goal, misses badly. Minor score to the Wangaratta Rovers. They move to 4 behinds to the Yarrawonga Pigeons, 4-5-29 on the CMV Truck and Bus scoreboard. We have now played 17 minutes in the second term, Dan Vaccaro. The Rovers still yet to kick a major.
Yeah, they've had 25 inside 50s, Panda, and they've kicked 0 goals 4, so it's becoming a big problem now.
Yarrawonga, credit to them, the way they're defending at the moment, making it so hard for the Rovers to penetrate. Pendergast with a big kick out of defence. Ball now on centre wing. Philo first there, ran past it, tapped it towards Koopman, who barrels it from 70. Jess Koopman loads up with one of the most amazing goals you'll ever see. Wow. Jess Koopman with a Sunjan goal today in a torpedo punt that was perfect from 70 metres.
Sunjan goal this season, Panda. That was unbelievable. Perfect barrel, spun perfectly, and just quick. Opportunity knocks Jess Koopman. Might have only been his first or second touch for the day, but gee whiz, that was fantastic, and that's a dagger to the half of the Wangaratta Rovers.
Yeah, you said it, Bob. Super deflating now for Wangaratta Rovers. They still can't generate a major. They've had 25 inside 50s, and that is a credit to Yarrawonga. Defensive masterclass and just a bit of brilliance there by Jesse Koopman.
He would have practiced that, Liam Scammell, 500 times, and it may have come off once. Deary me. Gibbons out of the middle, looking for Williams. Too big, too strong. And Lee Williams will line up for 30 metres out directly in front. And this to put Yarrawonga 37 points in front of the Wang Rovers.
Yeah, it's not the period of play that they want, Rovers. They had a dominance of football as Divac backed up with his stats. And for 2 quick entries and possibly 2 goals inside a minute, it's not exactly what Sam Murray and the coaching staff want.
Second in the Doug Strang this year, Lee Williams. Kick on goal's a beauty. He's pumped up. So are Yarrawonga. They're hot now, 6-5-41, 37 points in front of the Rovers, 4 behinds at the 19th minute mark for NZ. We'll go back down to the boundary. Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel. How about that torp and the injury updates, please, for the Rovers?
Yeah, quick injury update, boys. Tom Boyd having the left ankle just retaped and taken some pain. The right foot torpedo from 70 on the run was beautiful from where I am down here.
Reminded me of Jake Stringers on Easter Sunday a couple of years ago.
Give it a spell.
Now I'm clutching at straws as an Essendon supporter. As Gibbons goes in, once again out of the middle. Williams was held by McQuaid, no free kick. Koopman goes in again, finds Nyholm. Hand free, finds Willie, who's been pretty quiet. Hand pass inside 50, finds Cokehill, and he's wrapped up straight away by Gary. So danger signs big time here for the Wangaratta Rovers, who are yet to kick a goal, and they find themselves 37 points to the rear of Yarrawonga. There was a WWE wrestle in the ruck there between Damon and Howe. How do you pay that a free kick?
Ruck raffle. Bobby's favourite.
And Damon wins the free kick, goes out wide. Almost a big collision there between Urquhart and a Rover. Wilson wraps up Whooper Irvine on centre wing, and we're going to have a ball up far side of the ground, Ovens River side of the ground. What do you do if you are Sam Murray and the Wangaratta Rovers, Bob Jackson?
Hold on to the football for at least 2 or 3 possessions in a row. At the moment, they're just constantly turning the football over, particularly through the midfield where the Yarrawonga defensive structures are absolutely perfect. And another perfect example there.
Big high up and under, almost marked by Morey. Big pack of players.
Divac, they've almost got to take the sting out of the game a little bit and play a bit of forcey backs. And if Yarrawonga are going to push the defensive unit all the way back, just hold the ball across the ground and let the ball go laterally for a little bit until the sting goes out of the game a little bit. But at the moment they get forced into tempo footy and they're not matching it with Yarra.
Gibbons getting on top as well in the last 5 or so minutes. Kicks it to half forward. Rovers working really hard in defence. O'Brien has to retreat towards Chamberlain. Gets around Williams with ease. 30 metres from his own defensive goal. Goes out wide. Garrish drops a chest mark he should have taken. All the little things going wrong for the Rovers. Hand pass, set a task for Philo, and here come Yarrawonga again. Wilson retreats to Gibbons. Brought his own footy in the last 5 or so minutes. Left foot kick in towards the pocket. Casey and Williams, the big two twin towers there, not able to mark. Boundary throw and 30 around from Yarrawonga's goal.
Mick Gibbons is starting to really have an influence on this game as well. He's had 14 touches for the game. He's had 7 this quarter on the 40-wing stat sheet. So him, along with all the other boys, are playing really good footy.
And he's had the last 4 clearances for Yarrawonga as well.
There you go.
Boundary throw in. Williams tapped it down cleverly to Wilson, brought down in a big tackle, ball up 30 out from Yarra's goal. Shane Gaston back on the ground, Liam Scammell for the newie.
He is, boys, and he's rolled deep forward for now. Tom Boyd back on there as well, but it's big Jace McQuaid has come off with a right ankle injury, so the physios down here for Rovers very busy.
They certainly are. Garish, quick hand pass to O'Brien, brought down in a Yarrawonga tackle.
Just a quick one, Scam. With the way they're set up at the moment, do you think it's worth just playing the ruckman off the bench? Because if Gaston's playing so far up the ground where he's at the centre circle at the moment, wouldn't you be better off playing a quicker, fleet-footed forward that could probably possibly expose Holgate and Pendergast up that far up the ground?
I think you're spot on, mate. I mean, they spoke at quarter time about trying to create more space, so that's certainly one way to go about it.
Garish takes a rare bounce, fires a hand pass to Wilson. He takes a bounce. And here's this run and gun that we speak of from the Rovers. The kick, though, is really ordinary. 4 Yarrawonga numbers running back in defensive 50, and Morey takes his 3rd intercept mark for the quarter as Bob Jackson pulls the one strand of hair out of his head that he has left. Fires it onto Morey, kicks to half forward. Pigeon footy at their best. Kennedy marks, look at the space inside their forward 50. Kicks towards a vacant goal square. Williams! An elite body and elite paint mark of the day, play of the day. I'm lost for words because Yarrawonga are putting on a clinic.
This is, well, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Wang Rovers are getting what they deserve at the moment. Poor disposal by feet, poor decision-making throughout the middle of the game, and it's just getting what they deserve.
Williams runs around, shelling peas, kicks his 2nd, big Leroy. They've got their 7th Yarrawonga, and I reckon they got 1 foot in the grand final. Not this Sunday, but next. 7-5-47 plays the Rovers, 4 behinds. It's a 43-point margin at the 23rd minute mark of the second term for NZ. Dan Vaccaro, what is that 40-wing stat sheet telling us?
Oh, I can talk all day about it, Panda. They are just playing unbelievable footy. This is the best defensive masterclass from any team this season in the Ovens and Murray. They've had 26 inside 50s Rovers, and they still haven't generated a major. That is unbelievable work, and Yarrawonga are just going from strength to strength. 23 inside 50s for the game. They've taken 8 marks inside 50. Mick Gibbons, Perry Lewis-Smith, all dominating on the 40-wing stat sheet.
But once again, a turnover at half forward. Morey, intercept, down the middle, away they go. Perry Lewis-Smith out of the middle again. Harry Wheeler working hard, gets around a tackle, fires it back to Howe. He wants a piece of Koopman's action, torpedoes it inside attacking 50. Boyd does some early body work, gets back and fires it off to Williamson, almost lost his footing. Forced to kick towards Damon, takes a nice mark in front of Lockie Howard. This big Ed Damon, a bit slow to get up. Liam Scammell
Yeah,
for
cop
the
one for good measure there, made him earn it.
And then he patted him on the back to say, "You'll be right, son."
You'll be right, big fella, come on.
Maybe
Get on with it.
He felt a little bit bad, Lockie Howe. I wouldn't if I were Yarrawonga. They are a ruthless football netball club. Their netball through to the grand final next week after beating the Raiders for Ray White Rural, and looks like their senior footy are going to emulate that as well. As Williamson kicks to half forward, Gaston camped in front, Frontfelder with a beautiful spin out of traffic, fires a hand pass to Perry Lewis-Smith, does well to keep the footy in. Casey went one-handed, Ledger with a defensive fist right in front of Liam Scammell, where there's a few rotations now, Scam for the Newmarket Hotel.
There he is. McQuaid's still sitting down. They've still got concerns with that right ankle, so getting late in the half, you're not sure if we'll see him before half-time.
47 plays 4. It's a 43-point lead to Yarrawonga in the second semi-final at the 25th minute mark of this second term for Jaco. As half-time sounds, cannot come quick enough for the Wangaratta Rovers and Sam Murray's men. What a half of football for the minor premiers. Yarrawonga 7-5-47 lead the Rovers 4 behinds, goalless in a half. Dan, do an Ash Chewer and find out the last time that happened in half-time, hey? For Elders Rural, we're going to take a break. Our half-time show on the other side of this. Stay with us on 2AY3NE, O&M Snapprint Solutions TV, because on O&M Live, you will not miss a thing.
What's your future look like? Where do you want to be? Shaping lives through nursing? Building communities through community services? Maybe caring for animals through veterinary science? With GoTAFE by your side, you can make it happen. From agriculture, hospitality, health and wellbeing, trades and education, to hair and beauty or creative, learn real skills for real jobs and careers right now. With GoTafe, you've got this. Search GoTafe today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
.0% alcohol. This changes everything. Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
The rumours are true. We're heading to the Riverina. That's right, fifth quarter camps is heading to Albury and Wangaratta this October. We'll be in Albury on Tuesday the 8th and Wednesday the 9th of October. We'll then be in Wangaratta on the 10th. Isaac and I will be bringing plenty of our teammates along for the journey. We can't wait to see you all there. Head to fifth quarter camp's website for more details. See you soon.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury-Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Half price until half time is on in the locker room. Watch Friday night AFL footy action live on our big screen and get half price selected beers until half time. On now in the locker room at the SS&A.
The Ovens and Murray Football League is proudly sponsored by Opal. Thinking packaging? Discover Opal.
To the Normans Oval halftime here thanks to Elders Rural. I tell you what, this is starting to be a little bit of a demolition job in the major semi-final. Yarrawonga leads 7-5-47 to the Rovers, just 4 behinds, yet to register a major. My name's Gus McLeod. The halftime show is thanks to Elders Rural. Joined in the box by Bobby Jackson, Liam Scammell and Dan Vaccaro. Bobby J. Geez, I thought Yarrawonga played some pretty good footy, but the real talking point at the main break is how disappointing the Rovers have been.
If I was Sam Murray and the coaching staff at the Wang Rovers, I'd be really, really frustrated, particularly in that second quarter with their ball movement, particularly after you guys who've been out to the huddle and relayed what was said at quarter time. And to be fair, none of those instructions were followed. Again, they were kicking the ball in dirty. They weren't getting the ball in quick. They weren't giving their forwards an opportunity to be competitive. And they just moved the ball so slowly. It gave Yarrawonga and their defensive unit plenty of opportunity to get back in time to fill the gaps. And there was that many intercept marks in that quarter. Logan Morey took 3 intercept marks in a matter of 2 minutes. So that'd be pulling your hair out sort of stuff if I was Sam Murray at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan, obviously some of the stats will be quite alarming, particularly in that second half, as Yarrawonga claimed even more ascendancy on the game. What are some of the key stats that are showing up on the 40-wing stat sheet?
Yeah, well, you said it, Gus. It probably doesn't look too good for Wangaratta Rovers that half. They've had 26 inside 50 and are still yet to register a major. So that's really concerning for Sam Murray and his coaching staff. No marks inside 50 as well. So that just tells me they've just been really wasteful. However, it's almost more of a credit to Yarrawonga. Their defensive work has been unbelievable. I think I said it was the best defensive masterclass I've seen this year. And I truly believe that they were fantastic that quarter. So that really tells us a tale of two halves there. And Lockie O'Brien, we'll go through some of the stat winners there. He's had 12 disposals. Xavier Allison's had 12. Dill Wilson really hasn't had any influence on the game. He's only had 3. Brody Filo's been good with 13, and Jack Gerrish has only had the 6. And then as we go over for Yarrawonga, 24 inside 50s and 7 marks inside 50. They're a lot more potent going forward. So Rovers have had more of the entries, but Yarrawonga have just hit the scoreboard when it mattered, Bob. And as we go through some of the players, there's just stars on every line, really. Dan Howes had the 9 disposals. Willie Wheeler's had 8. Mick Gibbons, who I think's probably been one of the best players on field, he's had 14 to half-time. Perry Lewis-Smith's had 14, Bob's man, and Bailey Frauenfelder 5 and a goal. So there's just players everywhere playing their role.
Scam, I was going to say, Scam, one thing that you noticed early in the piece is Lockie McCartney is running with Willie Wheeler, and it might not be a direct tag, but there's certainly Lockie's certainly following Willie around the ground. At what stage does Sam Murray and the Wangaratta Rovers coaching staff go, right, we probably need to drop this and have a chance at trying to play some more attacking, ascending footy ourselves?
Yeah, well, the time's probably now, mate. I think we'd probably all agree
20
on
minutes
that.
ago.
And it was when we discussed pre-game around whether that matchup would go to Willie Wheeler, and we sort of thought that it might, but obviously with how deep Yarra run through there, that if Wheeler doesn't get you, it's going to be, Gibbons and Perry Lewis-Smith or someone else that's going to get on the outside, and they've both really impacted. So
they both had 6 clearances by themselves.
Yeah, you're spot on. So the answer is, mate, I'd be dropping it now, and they just need to get the ball going their way and with quality going inside 50, as was said.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Gussie. I think the big thing there is they just need to create... I don't know what the answer is, Bob, but they need to create space in that 50. It's just every single time it comes in, the kicks have been poor, but it's also a combination of just there's no space. Forwards can't get a move. I don't know if that's more on the midfield or is that the forwards working harder to create that space. I don't know what the answer is.
I reckon get some speed across that half-forward line. We spoke about that through that last quarter there, Scam, where they had the resting ruckman across the half-forward line. Maybe they need to bring Jack Gerrish across half-forward and maybe a couple of fleet-footed players across half-forward. Give them a chance to lead up quickly. If they don't get it, then they can get them on the flip side, because the ball's going in that slow. And we've got the elevator view where you two guys on the boundary sort of probably don't see it as well as what Dan and I have. You can just see the power running of the midfields and the wingers and the half-forwards to a certain degree, pushing so far back into the Wangaratta Rovers D50 that they've next got no chance if they just go back and kick over the mark. They need to get that ball and roll around the mark. There was a passage of play there where Mick Gibbons ran 200 metres to fill a gap that stop them from kicking. And you guys said that they need to be more direct. Well, it went to the pocket because Mickey Gibbons was standing in the pocket.
You're spot on, mate. You're talking about Mickey Gibbons' work going one way defensively, but also Gibbons and Perry Lewis-Smith have been the example of the speed of ball movement going the other way. So, to your point, some pace across half forward, but more so just getting the ball in motion, not getting back over the mark, get it, go, moving it by hand. I mean, we spoke about the Hawks pre-game, and everyone's loving what they're doing at AFL level, and that's just that ball in motion, keep it moving, and that's what'll open things up inside 50.
Well, they're in a situation now, and you said there a minute ago, what are they going to do at halftime? Well, let's try something new that we can bank for maybe next week or the week after if we happen to come against these guys again. They've got to start to try and maybe tinker with their game plan or pull something out of the back pocket and say, right, we've got something that can work against these boys.
One of the luxuries the Rovers and a few of the levers they have pulled in weeks gone by at many stages through the home and away season is playing an elusive small one out in the goal square and pushing, whether it's Damon or Gaston and Alex Marklew, who's yet to have an impact on the game, a little bit higher up the ground. I think the Rovers are doing a really good job at marking the ball and making a contest between the arcs. Damon and so forth are having a real crack. But where it's breaking down is that kick going inside 50, and that's where the Yarrawonga defenders, Holgate and co, are really stepping up, and Pendergast plucking the ball off about 30 metres from home. So I wonder if the Rovers, despite the fact they're without Sam Murray and Sam Catapan, Do they have the luxury to maybe rest a Brody Philo a little bit closer to goal? Do they play a Dill Wilson one out in the goal square and force the Yarrawonga Tools to get a bit higher up the ground? Because the way the Rovers are getting the ball inside forward 50, it doesn't work for their key tools. Alex Marklu's a leading forward. He needs the ball in space, and Damon's getting absolutely monstered by whether it's Holgate or Pendergast who's playing on him. So maybe, Bobby, they need to play a little bit of small ball and go for a mosquito fleet, because if you look at the goal kickers that have kicked goals in this game, Matt Casey kicked the opener and Lee Williams kicked the final 2 of the quarter. But the rest of the goals of the game have all come from smalls. Ben Kennedy, Willie Wheeler, Bailey Fraunfelder and Jesse Koopman's Sunjan goal today with a 75-metre torpedo on the run. Maybe they need to pull that lever, Bobby.
Yeah, you're right, exactly right. And I'm just thinking while you're talking then, do we need to get someone who's better by foot behind the footy, like a Brody Philo, playing behind the ball, and say, let's get some clean footy and start our rebound with Brody a bit deeper in their D50 and say, right,
their best kick as well.
Best kicker, get Brody on the back end of it, and maybe try Xavier Allison further up the ground, or try a different mix. Give Yarrawonga something to think about. Oh, geez, we've got Brody Philo behind the ball. Let's keep an eye on him because he's best by foot. Yeah. He can get the ball central and go either way with his foot. So that way, the wingers who spread the ground so well in Garish and Stone and Lockie O'Brien, they can get a clean ball, an advantage ball by a good user of footy like Brody Philo.
Do we give the Rovers any chance, gents?
No.
43 points down at the main break?
Nah, not against Yarra, I don't think.
Not against the class of Yarra.
No, they need to. What they got to get out of today is to sow a seed of doubt in the Yarrawonga camp by saying, geez, they tried something different in that second half, a different look that we
struggled with.
We struggled with. So what they've got to do, I don't know what it is, Scam.
Well, they've got to win.
They've got to find something.
Yeah, and they've got to win the next 2 quarters and finish the game with some sort of ascendancy into next week as well.
I had a quick listen in as the Rovers boys were sort of gathering and coming off, and it was probably Xavier Allison that was sort of leading that chat, and fight was probably the key word coming out of that. So, if they are fortunate enough, see how today plays out, but to run into them again potentially in a grand final in a couple of weeks, you don't want to get blown out, do you? You want to fight hard, make it a real contest, and show a bit here in the second half.
You don't want to blow out going into a prelim next week against a side that's won, whether it's North Albury or Wangaratta Magpies tomorrow.
Absolutely. We know that Yarrawonga are a formidable football outfit. They're also a formidable netball outfit as well. Booking themselves a ticket into the grand final with a 5-goal win over the minor premiers, the Wodonga Raiders. To tell us all about it, let's cross to Ree Harris, thanks to Ray White Rule for our A-grade netball update.
This is Tamara Matthews with the OMFNL Live Netball Wrap-Up, thanks to Ray White Rural. Today's second semi-final between the Yarrawonga Pigeons and the Wodonga Raiders saw the Yarrawonga Pigeons get up 51-46, a massive 18-8 third quarter, set up the win for them. Raiders coming back late in the game, but not enough time for them to put any damage on the scoreboard. So it's Yarrawonga through to the grand final in what we believe will be their 17th grand final appearance. Raiders left to take on the winner of tomorrow's game between Corowa and Wangaratta. For the Pigeons, it was Kylie Leslie who was phenomenal in defence with Emily Larissy, while at the other end, Kalisha Pell really stamped her authority on the game. For the Raiders, Georgia Way, fantastic through the midcourt, as was Mackenzie House in that goal defence position. This has been the Netball Wrap-Up, thanks to Ray White Rural.
Your local Onga specialists for all.
What's your future look like? Where do you want to be? Shaping lives through nursing? Building communities through community services? Maybe caring for animals through veterinary science? With GoTAFE by your side, you can make it happen. From agriculture, hospitality, health and wellbeing, trades and education, to hair and beauty or creative, learn real skills for real jobs and careers right now. With GoTAFE, you've got this. Search GoTAFE today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
.0% alcohol. This changes everything. Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
The rumours are true. We're heading to the Riverina. That's right, fifth quarter camps is heading to Albury and Wangaratta this October. We'll be in Albury on Tuesday the 8th and Wednesday the 9th of October. We'll then be in Wangaratta on the 10th. Isaac and I will be bringing plenty of our teammates along for the journey. We can't wait to see you all there. Head to fifth quarter camp's website for more details. See you soon.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury-Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Half price until half time is on in the locker room. Watch Friday night AFL footy action live on our big screen and get half price selected beers until half time. On now in the locker room at the SS&A.
The Ovens and Murray Football League is proudly sponsored by Opal. Thinking packaging? Discover Opal.
To do against the Yarrawonga Pigeons, who lead 7-5-47 to the Wangaratta Rovers. 4 behinds. They are goalless in the first half. Dan, did you do your homework over the break and able to go back through your Premier Data stat sheet and find out when the last time the Rovers were goalless in an opening half?
Shot off a couple of texts, Panda, but I got some bad news. I do not have that information. So, sorry to disappoint you, but no, I don't. But it is, it's looking very grim for Wangaratta Rovers, I can tell you that.
It surely is. Bobby Jackson dominating with our Elders Rural half-time show. They need to come out and kick the first 2 or 3 goals very quickly, don't they, Bobby J?
They certainly do, and it'll be interesting to see what changes they've made at quarter time. Like Sam Murray, his body language is a little bit different at quarter time. Just walking up the stairs there, Panda, he's a little bit... I dare say there's a lot going on inside his brain there at the moment. What to do in this third quarter, and what to do for the remaining of the game to get some
sort. Still got all his hair.
Still got all his hair, mate. Yeah, but they sort of will be interesting to see Scam when they get back out in their formation, as to see if there's any particular changes to their structures and setups and the way they go about, particularly ball movement, as Stevie J and his cohorts come across the ground now.
I'll keep an eye on those matchups, boys, and probably also McQuaid to see if he comes back out after half time.
Yeah, because he was down there pretty early into that second half. He went off with some sort of foot injury. So he was doing a pretty good job on Lee Williams. And as soon as McQuaid comes off, Leroy kicks 2 goals, Bobby Jackson. So that's the matchup we need to watch out for.
Well, exactly right. You know, and Tom plays a zone off type defensive role. So you know, it's a little bit foreign to him, whereas Lee, you know, is probably used to the body contact and the one-on-one, so to get some space, he would have thought that was Christmas time. And the delivery, as we've harped on all game, DVAC, was so much better for Yarrawonga going into their 450 than what the opposition side in Wangaratta. So They battled, so they need to make some changes. And that looks like Tom Boyd coming off. Is that right, Scam? Walking towards you?
That's McQuaid, boys.
McQuaid, sorry.
He
McQuaid.
looks in all sorts, Scam, too, doesn't he?
Could be done.
Yeah, he's limping towards the boundary line as we speak, is young Jace McQuaid. So we'll watch that one for you. Really quickly, around the grounds for Mr. Stowe's Pool World. And we have Chilton with a 17-point lead over the Hawks, over Kiwa Sandy Creek. So 6-2-38 to the Hawks, 3-3-21. Of course, the winner to play Yak and Dander in next Saturday's Tallangatta and District Footy League Grand Final. We will be calling that one on 2AY. We'll be out there live streaming that one as well. So very much looking forward to that one. Of course, Yak and Dander into their first Grand Final in 14 years with a big win last week over Kiwa Sandy Creek. A-grade netball score, just repeating. The Yarrawonga Pigeons are through to yet another Grand Final for Ray White Rural. Well done to Tam Matthews, Ree Harris and Liv Laspina for dominating in the commentary box on that one. And the Raiders will now play the winner of tomorrow's game between the Wang Magpies and Cora Rutherglen. That one, of course, will once again be live streamed on O&M Snapprint Solutions TV. And on 2AY 3&E and Snapprint Solutions TV, you'll see the Wang Magpies up against the North Albury Hoppers. And I can tell you that earlier today, the Wang Magpies 2s played Bobby, and all their emergencies played in that game as well.
Yeah, so they're going into the game obviously as selected. So Ben Reid swung the axe as he promised us to us after the game last week, and be interesting to see how they respond.
It certainly will be. It'll be more interesting to see how the Wangaratta Rovers respond in this second half, because they trail. Did they just add a point onto the score? I think they did.
They did.
7-6-48 to the Rovers, 4 behind. So it's a 7-goal margin here as we kickstart the third term, all thanks to the locker room at the SS&A. As the Rovers go inside forward 50 again, but once again it's been marked and intercepted out there by Nick Whooper-Irvine. Kicks towards the wing, and a good fist is from Allison, who punches it over the boundary line, and it will be thrown back in. Dan Vaccaro, can you just give us those inside 50 numbers again, please, for 40 Winks in the opening half?
I can, Panda. 27 inside 50s for Wangaratta Rovers, 24 for Yarrawonga Pigeons, 0 marks inside 50 as well for Rovers, so big problems going inside forward 50.
McCartney grubbers it inside attack here for the Rovers. Mark Lute tries to cleverly tap it towards McCarthy. Frontfelder once again slips over in that pocket and then kicks it out of bounds on the full. So the Rovers with an early chance here to kick their first major. 2,407 through the gates today at the Norman's Oval. Pretty good crowd, Bobby J.
They have. That's a good turnout. The crowd on the bank on the far side is nice and full.
Wobbly old kick from Garish, almost lands in the lap there of McCarthy, and we have another stoppage inside attacking 50 for the Rovers.
Got to be so much better than that. That's a over the mark kick, and to that quality of football going inside the 50, that'd be frustrating.
That's why they've kicked the 4 behinds and yet to kick a goal. Bobby Jackson, McCarthy. Will's been pretty good coming in for Sam Murray this week, and Dan Howe applies a tackle. Another ball up inside 50 for the Rovers.
One thing I've noticed, Scam, is Alex McCarthy seems to have started a little bit deeper at the deeper stoppages.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. And Gaston gone deep forward as well.
McCarthy on cue will get a free kick for a high, and he will line up to kick the Wangaratta Rovers' first goal at the... Well, they haven't started the clock on the far side of the scoreboard, so I have no idea how long we've gone in this third quarter for the locker room at the SS&A, but McCarthy with a big kick here, Dan Vaccaro.
Yeah, huge.
Stay awake, Dan.
Simply just needs to go through. I'm awake. I'm very, very
He was yawning and he rubbing his face, was Dan Vaccaro. As McCarthy will kick from 45 metres out. It's a wobbly old kick and it's across the face. Through for a minor score. Just sums up the Wangaratta Rovers' day, unfortunately. 7-5-47 to the Wang Rovers, 5 behinds. I reckon we've played about 2 minutes for NZ in this third quarter for the locker room at the SS&A. As Pendergast with the kick-in duties. Goes out to the far side. Good mark, an elite body and paint mark of the day there from Ryan Bruce at halfback. Goes down the line with a calm kick and a good mark from Big Ed Damon. And he plays on straight away. Didn't really go behind his mark, in fact, and it's a really poor kick. Kicks it straight back to the guy who gave it to him, and Ryan Bruce. He goes short to Irvine. Kick finds its way to Gibbons in the middle of the ground. Look at him just open up the Rovers. Switch will sit here for Bailey Fronfelder. He taps it to himself, but he's got enough time to float one up towards Ben Kennedy. He's already kicked one goal. His kick really poor. Him and Williams not on the same page. Parnell, kick smothered by Wilson. His kick likewise. Swooping on this one was Koopman. He's got a bear in the square, and Williams is going to kick his third. Too easy for the Yarrawonga Pigeons. Frenetic football. Williams gets his third. And I reckon they put this one to bed. 48 points in front. Bobby Jackson.
Yeah, just pressure. Wilson smother there, forced the turnover. Jesse Koopman handball over the top, and Big Leroy just the bear in the square, as you said. The pressure and the moving the footy from D50. It's like Groundhog Day, D-Vac. You're like they're just not learning from their mistakes, Rovers, and it's sad to see.
It's scary good how good Yarrawonga are. They've gone inside forward 50 once this quarter and have kicked a goal. Rovers have already gone inside 4 times and haven't got a score. That's the story of the day.
Certainly is. Back in the middle here, and Brody Philo has played pretty well for the Wangaratta Rovers, but the entry again is not what you're after, and it's been marked by Ned Pendergast. He goes out wide. Gibbons starting to get moving in this ball game. Fronfelder's kick will land in the lap of Morey. Got a little shove from Stone, but Morey with a nice hand pass to Casey. 60 from home, kicks it to the top of the goal square. Boyd getting back and intercepting for the Wangaratta Rovers. Aggressive kick, intercepted by Dan Howe. In his own attacking 50, and Dan Howe will line up for his first major at a very similar spot to a shot he had in the first term, directly in front, 45 metres out.
The only positive I can get out of that is they're trying to change lanes, get the ball out the fat side and get the ball moving quickly, but execution has been the biggest problem for Wangaratta Rovers today. They just haven't been able to execute their foot skills or skills in general, and Dan Howe, set up defensively very well, and intercept mark was one of the easier ones he'll ever have.
This is a team all connected on the same page every single week. Stevie J has them playing very good football. Dan Howe comes in, and it's just across the face through for a minor score. And the Pigeons move to 8 goals, 654 to the Rovers, 5 behind. So it's a 49-point lead at the 5-minute mark for NZ in this third term. We're doing it all thanks to the locker room at the SS&A. Dan Vaccaro, what have you got for me?
Well, Mick Gibbons is playing such a good game. He's already had 3 disposals this quarter on the 40-wing stat sheet, and he's had 17 for the day. So he's been really good. But everyone's just been so even, Bob. You've got Dan Howe, he's had 10 disposals. Bailey Frauenfelder, Perry Lewis-Smith's had the 14 for the day as well. So such even contributors all around the ground.
Xavier Allison takes a bounce, but the kick isn't great because Morey leaps up and takes the mark. He's been one of the Pigeons' best. Oh, look at that delivery. Inside 50 finds Ben Kennedy on a beautiful lead, and Ben Kennedy will line up for his second. He's looked really good inside attack for the Yarrawonga Pigeons, Bobby.
Yeah, just a few hand signals to D-Vac here. Logan Morey just seems to put himself in the right spot. 9 times out of 10, he's taken 5 intercept marks of his own today off a wing, so he's been fantastic in getting himself in the right spot.
Like the look of this kid. He's got a big future at whatever level he plays. Look at that drop punt.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful from Benny Kennedy. Welcome back to the Ovens and Murray, Ben. The Yarrawonga Pigeons got their 9th, 9-6-60 to the Wang Rovers, 5 behind. It's blowing out to a 55-point lead. We'll cross back down to the boundary. Liam Scammell. Looks like Jace McQuaid's done for the day.
Yeah, ice on the right ankle, boys. I'd say he's done for the day, boot off, and just got big Ed Damon as well, getting his ankle retaped as well. So, as we said before, the physios have been quite busy down here for the Rovers today.
That's the last thing that they want is more injuries out of today. That's not what they want, D-Vac. They don't want to be smacked and lose players injury.
Not good at all. 29 inside 50s for the day now, Rovers, and they still haven't registered a major, which is a huge compliment to Yarrawonga's defensive works.
Back in the middle, little half throw there from Wheeler onto Howe. Williams! He's got a mismatch there. I reckon it might be Parnell playing on Williams, who takes the mark, goes beautifully to Perry Lewis-Smith. This could get really ugly now. Perry Lewis-Smith will line up from 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Can get really ugly now?
Well, it is right now, Bobby. I'm talking big margins. Your man.
Polishing something, aren't we?
Your man, Bobby J.
He's played some sort of game today, D-Vac. He seems to be everywhere. He's popping up with clearances left, right and centre. And he's also doing his hard work defensively as well.
I want him to point to this box if he puts this through. You did have a nice little pep talk with him pre-game. Things got a little bit excited with Bobby and PLS. Comes in, drop punt is a beauty.
Yeah, baby.
Straight through the middle from Perry Lewis-Smith. Yarrawonga got 10. 10-6, 66 to the Wang Rovers, 5 behind. So we have played 7 and a bit minutes for NZ. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
It's actually unbelievable to watch how good this team actually is. They are the only team that can stop them is themselves at the moment. They are just so good. They've gone inside forward 55 times this quarter. They've registered 4 marks inside 50. Wangaratta Rovers are still yet to take a mark from their 30 entries. So it is just a complete dominant display here by Yarrawonga Pigeons.
Well, if they've had a week off and they've dished this up, another week off, God help us in a couple of weeks' time as to who's going to play these blokes.
Back in the middle, Howe taps it down to Perry Lewis-Smith once again. Champagne footy out of the middle, bit of a tumbler. Williams, too big, too strong. Floating in front of the pack. That time it was Tom Boyd, and he will line up for his 4th, 35 metres out directly in front.
Even the missed kicks are working. PLS just storming out of the centre. Lockie Howe's just starting to dominate in the middle there. He's just putting the ball at will where the midfielders want it, and they're just running out of the centre without any sort of defensive pressure. And even a tumbler like that from PLS hit the target.
So he kicked 2 goals in the second. He's already kicked 1 in this third. Leroy comes in directly in front, and he has missed. Through for a minor score for the former Dunk String medalist. So 67 plays 5 here on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. We've played a tad over 9 minutes for NZ. Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks. Help us out, please.
It's getting very scary now for Wangaratta Rovers. Yarrawonga, 31 inside 50s. They've taken 13 marks inside 50 as well, and they are absolutely dominating. Perry Lewis-Smith, 17 disposals and a goal for him on the 40-wing stat sheet.
Frontfelder came through that pack with pace. Just left the football behind. Yarrawonga are really hungry now as Chamberlain sends a long high one out of defence. And Willie Wheeler taking intercept marks now. Kicks to half forward. Frontfelder's all by himself. He's got a runner running beside him and Damien Wilson. Checks the kick. PLS. Perry Lewis-Smith just fends off Lockie O'Brien, and he will line up for his 2nd goal inside a minute from directly in front.
It's official. It's getting ugly.
Yep. Oh, big time.
It's ugly now.
Big time.
Oh, just winning every aspect. They're lining up at the moment. You know, they're just so good.
Procession.
It is a procession, and we don't want to harp on, but we've got to commentate a game of footy, DVAC, so we aren't calling as we see it, and it's very much one-way traffic at the moment.
So Perry Lewis-Smith, what a recruit this guy has been. I don't think Stevie J and the Pigeons knew this was the sort of play they were getting. Comes in and kicks his 2nd.
Yes, that's
that's the point to Bobby J.
That's me, baby.
From Perry Lewis-Smith. He's got his 2nd. He is lining up the Norman's Oval as of the Yarrawonga Pigeons. 73-5. We might go down to the boundary. Liam Scammell. He's gone the old point to Bobby Jackson for the Newmarket.
He has indeed, boys. If anything, a little bit of good news with big Ed Damon looking like he'll get back on the ground.
Dan Vaccaro, 40 winks.
Wow, how good is Perry Lewis-Smith? 18 disposals for the game, 2 goals. He's staring down the barrel of a player of the day, Bob.
Well,
and you might just swap places with Liam Scammell in the last quarter, and Bobby might go down to the boundary.
He can present the award if he likes.
I'd have to hand it over.
I'll sprint down after the game. I'll be down there.
A float at a half forward. Ben Kennedy marks, lowers the eyes. Koopman, wowee. He will line up from 45 metres out directly in front, and this will be 5 goals if he nails this inside 12 minutes to start the 3rd term for the locker room at the SS&A.
Off the back of 2 goals in the last 4 minutes of the second half, so it's been pretty much. And he's going to pass it off here.
He's going to pass it off because Damo Wilson snuck out the back. And
why would he? He's just kicked a goal from 70 metres and he's passed it from 40.
I agree, but it was a nice intercept mark from Will McCarthy in defence. His kick was smothered by Wilson. Yarrawonga still with elite pressure because they've intercepted the ball across attacking 50. Wheeler swings around looking for Williams. Boyd brought him to ground. Had to be a free kick. Garish helping out in defence, running out of room. Hand pass intercepted by Gibbons, who will banana it from the pocket. Michael Gibbons, in the end, it centres it towards Nyholm. McCarthy doing well. Hand passes it out towards Philo. Deep in defence, kicks down the wing. And Stewie Booth will relieve for the Wangaratta Rovers. Bob Jackson from McRae Motors.
So that's exactly what I spoke about at halftime. Brody Philo getting behind the footy, quality ball outside 50, and he surprised nobody. He's hit a target coming out of the defensive area where they just can't get out of. Oh no.
Stewie Booth runs out of room. Great pressure from Ryan Bruce. Gets the applause from the Yarrawonga crowd who are here in numbers at the Norman's Oval. It's a 68-point lead, 73-5 on the Inspirations Paint scoreboard. We have played 12 minutes into the third term for NZ, and the Rovers are still yet to cheer for a goal. As Ed Damon shoves Cogill in the back. Unlucky there not to get a 50, I reckon, Yarrawonga.
Very, very unlucky there.
Might go around the ground, Steve Ack, when you're ready.
Yeah,
jump in with the TDFL score for Mr. Stowe's Pool World.
I think they're just showing the scoreboard from a bit of a distance, but I think the score reads Kiwa 3-4-22 to Chilton 7-2-44 on the Mr. Stowe's Pool World around the grounds.
Casey wheels around on the bird. Williams got reefed off the footy. Had to be a free kick against Tom Boyd, and it's through for a minor score. He's got every bit to argue in the last couple of incidences, I reckon. Lee Williams has been brought down illegally for sure. So a minor score to Yarrawonga, 74 plays 5. On the Inspirations Paint third term scoreboard, Allison's kick finds touch as Booth sort of rips Irvine over the boundary line.
Probably could have been a free too,
yeah.
I thought.
That doesn't...
It's pretty important that the Rovers don't get too frustrated, boundary side, Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we spoke about fight at half-time, unfortunately there hasn't been a lot at the start of this third term.
The longer, unfortunately, they go without a goal, the longer I think things get worse for Wangaratta Rovers by a long way. As Frontfelder intercepts across half-back, opens up the middle of the ground to Nyholm, onto Irvine. Shallow kick, sort of half-intercepted by Cam Chamberlain. And we have another ball up. So would Yarrawonga and Stevie J be saying, you keep this side goalless for as long as you can?
I think so. I think it's an ego thing now. It's a stamp your authority type sort of thing on the competition, and yeah, I think so.
And if we know Stevie J is such a competitive man too, he'd want to really put foot to the throat here.
O'Brien left the football behind. Wilson goes out wide to Frontfelder. Beautiful kick finds Morey. He's such an important link up for this Yarrawonga side, isn't he, Dan Vaccaro?
He's unbelievable. He's one of the most underrated players in the O&M for mine. He's been fantastic today as well, Peter.
Williams, his jumper was being held. Hand passes it to Wilson. Dinky little kick into the pocket, finds Gibbons. Gibbons, he can kick this. Journey might just worry him. He's 50 metres out, tied up against the boundary. He looks like he wants to pass it off. He does so. Sets it up beautifully for his big forwards, but Allison gets back in the hole. Takes a nice mark in a dangerous position for the Wangaratta Rovers.
Probably been a decent player for them today, Xavier Allison. He's had 16 disposals. He probably looks their most likely type along with Brodie Philo, but apart from that, really haven't fired a shot on the 40-wing stat sheet.
That's where they've struggled in the last 10, 15 minutes, Bobby, just to get ball out of defence. I mean, they had a lot of inside 50s in that first half, but now Yarrawonga are really putting their foot down and a really poor disposal. It's been turned over. Irvine onto Osborne. The Rovers win it back though. Ed Damon has to sit under this footy for a while. Retreats back to Philo. Kick down the line trying to find Mark Liu is out of bounds right in front of the Yarrawonga bench.
They made that so hard that they didn't need to. They had the ball in the centre of the ground. They just needed to keep going the far lane out the other side, and they would have had a paddock to work down, but they tried to bring the ball back through the middle and it didn't execute a handball, and here we are now, another stoppage.
Damon and Cokill in the ruck. Willie Wheeler around this footy. Perry Lewis-Smith as well. Ball favours Dylan Stone off the stoppage though. Didn't get a kind bounce. Comes the way of Finn Osborne, a rare inside 50, palming off a Yarrawonga Pigeon, kicking towards goal, and it doesn't go through. You can hear the groans from the crowd because Jordan Urquhart marks in the goal square for Yarrawonga. Plays on straight away, finds Perry Lewis-Smith. Kick over the head of his intended target. Running onto this one is Cam Wilson. Clever little tap to Tanner Nyholm, but I reckon there's a free kick here to Wilson. It's coming back, Bobby J, just forward of the wing.
Just clever, selfless play by the Yarrawonga Footy Club. That they're getting the ball out the far side. They keep the ball moving forward. It's just a clever little tap on that into space. Got the ball moving forward.
Wilson kicks towards Kennedy. Oh, he is imposing himself on this game. He floats in the air, doesn't he? Big Ben Kennedy takes a mark. Too far out to score. Kicks off a step towards the top of the goal square. Williams not able to mark. Perry Lewis-Smith wants three. Dives on the footy. The Rovers clear defensive lines. Oh, Dan Howe with an elite body and paint mark of the day. As brave as you will see from Dan Howe. That was extraordinary. Goes short to Whooper Irvine. Wasn't able to mark. And here come the Rovers through Stone. Breaks away from Cogill. He's got no one in front of him. Absolutely no one. Streams down the middle of the Normins. Has to retreat back to Osborne. They buy themselves a little bit of time, the Rovers. Philo, edge of the centre circle. Beautiful kick finds Gerish. As open as it's been for the Rovers all day. Kick, though, over the head of Wilson. Sums up the Rovers' day, but it has been intercepted by McCarthy in the middle of the ground. Takes the bounce, runs to 60. Kicks in towards Mark Lew out the back. Not able to mark. McCartney roves. Hand passes to Booth. He's going to fire on goal and miss. They've kicked a goal, but it's all behinds. 6 of them, in fact. 11-8-74. Yarrawonga leading the Rovers 6 behinds. Sort of just sums up play for the Wangaratta Rovers, doesn't it, Bobby Jackson?
We just needed the Benny Hill story, the music just then. That was just a comedy of errors that...
from both sides, really.
Both sides. Somehow got it in there, 50 and in position, and gee whiz. This is an unbelievable performance by Yarrawonga.
Yeah. The bit where Stone ran backwards was the bit where I just,
Benny Hill.
He had no one inside forward 50 though, Bobby, not one player.
Just Koopman kicked the tall from the same distance.
No, you're right. Philo at half forward, left foot kick into the pocket, finds Dylan Wilson.
That's their first mark inside 50 for the game.
At the 19th minute mark of the third quarter for NZ. His kick is over the head of the tallest man on the ground in Shane Gaston. And the Yarrawonga Pigeons are away. Gibbons down the line towards Kennedy. And in the end, we have a boundary throw into the far side of the ground. We'll go back down to Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel and update boundary side.
Yeah, it just feels like the game's just sort of started to open up a bit more down here, boys. I don't know if it is because the margin's blown out so much, but it's just, a bit of a different feel for sure. And I think that Willie Wheeler tag's been dropped, so we'll see if he can get on the end of a few.
Philo with a grubber kick inside 50. Mark Lew with a clever little tap over his back. Running onto this one was Justin Lewis, not able to get a kick away. It was a great defensive effort there from Yarrawonga, and Lewis's grubber little kick goes through for a minor score. And the Wangaratta Rovers move to 7 behinds to Yarrawonga, 11-8-74. Margin at 67 at the 20th minute mark for NZ. Third term, Dan Vaccaro, locker room at the SS&A.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable performance by Yarrawonga. Mick Gibbons, he's been fantastic. 20 disposals for him. And Perry Lewis-Smith, 20 disposals and 2 goals.
Philo intercepts from the front feld. A kick goes short to Mark Lew, and Al will line up from probably right on 50. The paint of 50, not much of an angle to kick the Rovers first of the day.
Just Brody Filo's had a crack.
Yep.
He can hold his head high.
He's been their best.
Yeah, particularly the last 2 quarters where it's all been one way. He's really tried to stem the tide a little bit, and he's obviously presented an opportunity for Al Mark Lew here.
So Mark Lew's got the 2 behinds for the day. Runs in, kick on the way, is across the face. It's through for a minor score. And Al Mark Lew's got 3 behinds, and the Rovers have 8 of them.
You mentioned Brody Philo earlier as well. He has been really good, Bob. He's had 19 disposals. He looks the most likely. For Yarrawonga, for Wangaratta, they just haven't had the other players to go with him.
74 plays 8 as Cogill rises and takes an elite body and paint mark of the day. But he's called to play on from umpire Jace Rain. And we'll have a ball up just outside attacking 50. Rovers end of the ground. They're kicking to the Evans Street end. Still yet to kick a goal. At the 21st minute mark of the third term, Osborne, nice little kick, lowers the eyes to Booth, who's dropped a couple of easy marks today, and then he's brought down at a crunching tackle. How the big ruckman at ground level is tackled, and we'll have a ball up. 65 out from the Rovers goal.
I'm trying to think of some positives for the Rovers footy club at the moment, DVAC, but I'm really struggling.
Brody Philo?
Apart from Brody Philo, it's relying on one of your older players to carry you. That's things aren't so good today.
Mark Lew fends off. He's going to snap from 40. He tried the banana. Wasn't on the right side of the body, and that's the result. Hits the wrong side of the foot, out of bounds on the full.
That was never going to work, that kick by Alex Mark Lew was facing the complete wrong way. So the panic is starting to really set in now for Rovers when they do go forward. They're just trying to get it through those goals, and it's really playing on their mind, to be honest, as well.
In fact, it's actually a boundary throw-in, so it must have just clipped a little bit of that line in the pocket. Howe and Gaston going at each other. Dan Howe didn't have the football. An umpire says, give it to me. And another ball up inside attacking 50 for the Rovers. How many inside 50s have they had now, Dan?
For the game, they've had 37 inside 50s, Wangaratta Rovers. 1 mark inside 50 and no goals.
For 40 Winks, Howe down to Willie Wheeler with another clearance. Goes out to the far side. Trying to claim that one was Casey. Another stoppage. Defensive side of the wing for the Yarrawonga Pigeons. the Ovens River side of the ground. Repeating in the A-grade netball for Ray White Rural, Yarrawonga through to the grand final. And they will meet either the Wang Magpies, Corraluglen or the Raiders. As Stevie J just wanders out of the coach's box and wanders down to the bench. He might go and have a frothy, Stevie J.
He could have a nap, Stevie J.
It looks like half the staff are by the looks of it. A few of them laying down there in the sun and enjoying the sun.
Dylan Stone, hand passes sideways to Gerish, gives it back to Stone. Hand passes in a hurry to Finn Osborne, who has been lively this third term. Does that well, kicks the footy well. Over the head, though, of Lockie O'Brien. He's got Tanner Nyholm trying to beat him in a one-on-one. Allison lowers the eyes towards Mark Lou. Once again, a great defensive effort from Jordan Urquhart. Mark Lou was ready to mark that in the lap, and it's a boundary throw-in from a great defensive
And we're
fist.
probably not talking about it enough. We are talking about how poor Rovers have been going inside their forward 50, but Yarrawonga have put on an absolute clinic in the defensive half of the ground.
Urquhart's balled that one, and that's not his direct opponent. And they just help each other and complement each other well in that defensive six.
That's why they've only had 51 points against opposition sides for Yarrawonga. That's why they're the best defensive unit. And we have a free kick here. I reckon it's going the way of Finn Osborne, who in the last 10 minutes has had a lot of footy, young Finn, and he will line up from 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Well, it's got to a point now where you need a bit of self-pride in your performance from Wangaratta Rovers' point of view. So you're playing for a final spot next week. If you don't turn up, you may miss out next week. So they're all playing for a bit of self-pride here.
So Finn Osborne can kick the Rovers first of the day. Comes in and he does just that. The Rovers finally have something to cheer about in the second semi-final. It's taken until the 24th minute mark of the third term, but finally they have a major. They move to 1-8-14. Yarrawonga 11-8-74. A couple of cheers in the grandstand. Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel.
Bordering on Bronx cheers down here, boys. Somewhat comical.
Yeah, it's they got the monkey off the back, but they're still not happy, I don't think, Bob. They've had a really bad day at the office. Wang Rovers, 1 goal, 8-14, and they've had 36 inside 50s for the game, and they've only registered 1 goal. So it's been an unbelievable performance by Yarra, but a poor performance by Rovers.
Officially a stinker.
Philo out of the middle, takes a bounce, goes long into the pocket. Getting back there, going one-handed was Ryan Bruce. Lewis pops a hand pass over to McCartney, edge of 50, dances around one, bananas it into the pocket, Ned Pendergast getting back in defence.
Oh, desperate.
We're under the pump here. Shane Gaston snapping on goal right across the face. And it's out of bounds on the floor. And there must be the Rovers thirds boys up in the grandstand who are a little bit up and about, Divac.
They're having a very good time, and so they should be. Their club is putting on an absolute clinic for them today.
So Dan Howe, the recipient of that out of bounds free kick. How have you seen Dan Howe's performance today, Bobby Jackson?
Honest. He's brought what he's needed to brought in regards to the complex of the game. You know, the team has put in a great team performance, and he's just filled his role perfectly. He hasn't had to be best on ground or outstanding. He's just done his job today, and he's working his way into a bit of footy fitness, I suppose. The downside for that is he doesn't play next week, so he's got to do some work throughout the next 2 weeks to make sure he's right for grand final day.
12 disposals for him as well on the 40-wing stat sheet, Peter.
I'm sure he'll have a big running session next week.
Around the grounds from Mr. Stowe's Pool World as well. Just quickly, it is Kiwa 3-4-22 plays Chilton Swans 7-2-44 down at Kiwa Sandy Creek in the elimination final.
So Chilton 22 points in front there. We might chase a Owen K score if we can as well. Bonnie Doon playing bright as Philo goes long inside forward 50. Mark Lou climbs, not able to mark. Ball gets to the back. Urquhart working hard. Stewie Booth can kick the Rovers second, and he does. Touched off the boot. The boos from the Rovers thirds boys as it sails through for a goal, but it was touched. They go to 1-9-15, the Rovers. Yarrawonga 11-8-74 at the 27th minute mark for NZ. Third term, we're doing it all for the locker room at the SS&A. $1 wings, Dan Vaccaro, and $5 mid-strengths in live play.
I reckon we go tonight, Panda.
I reckon you double up, hey? After a big night on the piss last night, Dan. After the Hawks win. Parnell goes short, looking for Osborne, just missed him. Morey does well at half-back, kicks to the open side, and
the big
Benny
fella.
Cokehill. In fact, it's Lockie Howe chasing after it like a big steeplechaser. Goes back to his brother. Dan Howe, defensive side of the wing, goes short to Urquhart. He can pop this over to Lovell if he wants. Decides not to. As the siren sounds, what a quarter for the Hoops. Yarrawonga 4-1, and they have opened up a 69-point lead at the final change. Premiership quarter done and dusted, and they will once again defend their crown in the grand final in a couple of Sundays' time at the Lavington Sports Ground. 74 plays 15. We're back on the other side of this. Stay with us on 2AY, 3&E and O&M Snap Print Solutions TV, because on O&M Live, you will not miss a thing.
What's your future look like? Where do you want to be? Shaping lives through nursing? Building communities through community services? Maybe caring for animals through veterinary science? With GoTAFE by your side, you can make it happen. From agriculture, hospitality, health and wellbeing, trades and education, to hair and beauty or creative, learn real skills for real jobs and careers right now. With GoTAFE, you've got this. Search GoTAFE today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
.0% alcohol. This changes everything. Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
The rumours are true. We're heading to the Riverina. That's right, fifth quarter camps is heading to Albury and Wangaratta this October. We'll be in Albury on Tuesday the 8th and Wednesday the 9th of October. We'll then be in Wangaratta on the 10th. Isaac and I will be bringing plenty of our teammates along for the journey. We can't wait to see you all there. Head to fifth quarter camp's website for more details. See you soon.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury-Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Half price until half time is on in the locker room. Watch Friday night AFL footy action live on our big screen and get half price selected beers until half time. On now in the locker room at the SS&A.
The Ovens and Murray Football League is proudly sponsored by Opal. Thinking packaging? Discover Opal.
% locally owned and operated.
OMFNL Live on 2AY.
Clinical. The Yarrawonga Pigeons lead by 69 points at three-quarter time. The final change here at the Normins Oval, 74-15 over the Wangaratta Rovers. It has been a joy to watch at the Normins Oval. Blake Pandarescott with you, Bobby Jackson, Dan Vaccaro, Liam Scammell, who we'll get to soon. But Dan Vaccaro, McRae Motors caught us best, and just a bit of a wipe over that stat sheet, please.
Yeah, for sure, Panda. So on the 40-wing stat sheet, Brody Philo was their best that quarter. He had 9 disposals. He's been pretty good all day, 22 for the game as well, Bob. So he has been the one positive sign for Wangaratta Rovers. And for Yarrawonga, it's your man, Perry Lewis-Smith. He had 5 disposals, kicked 2 goals. He was clinical, especially in the opening sort of 10 minutes of that third quarter. He really put the game beyond doubt. So those 2 guys there, McRae Motors caught his best. And then we'll go through a few stats. 35 inside 50s. Wangaratta Rovers have had more for the day. Can you believe that? They've had 40 inside 50s for the game and have kicked 1 goal 9. So it's unbelievable that stat. They've taken 16 marks inside their forward 50, Yarrawonga. Wangaratta Rovers have taken 2. So that the potency of Yarrawonga has just been amazing.
It certainly has. Liam Scammell, boundary side for the Newmarket Hotel. Which huddle were you floating around at three-quarter time?
I went to Yarra boys, all very relaxed there. We've spoke about the disappointing ball use of the Wang Rovers, but on the Yarra side, they've been incredibly pleased with the pressure they've been able to apply around the ball, which are probably reasoning for that poor ball use. And I think you'll also find that they'll start to manage a few players in this last quarter as well.
Certainly will. We'll find out who's on that bench soon as the spectators disappear off pretty packed Normins Oval. 2,500 in the house today to watch this second semi-final, and we'll get a big crowd across the road tomorrow as our attention start to turn to the Wang Magpies up against the North Albury Hoppers. Cutthroat do-or-die semi-final will bring you on 2AY, 3&E and O&M Snapprint Solutions TV tomorrow. I reckon we've got Travie Cartwright on the camera again, the best in the business.
Still nothing structurally changed there, Scam, by the looks of it. They're still going with the same sort of format that they've used pretty much throughout the game. It's obviously Tom Boyd's gone to Lee Williams in the D50, but their forward 50 setup is the same as it's been all day.
Yeah, you're spot on, mate. The only thing was that really tag, which they came out in the second half and applied for the first few minutes, but then dropped it probably 5 or 6 minutes in.
There's another whistle here, and I reckon we got a off the square free kick again. You hardly see any of these in a year. We've seen 2 in one game. Gibbons floats one inside attacking 50. Allison went back one-handed, gets at the back. Ledger for the brown and gold fires a hand pass towards Allison. How many now for Xavier Allison, Dan?
Xavier Allison's had 18 on the 40-wing stat sheet, Panda.
Kick exiting defence from the Rovers, not good. Perry Lewis-Smith sort of just fumbled it over the boundary line and it'll be thrown back in 65, 70 around.
Been good today, your man, Perry Lewis-Smith, Bob. 19 disposals, 2 goals. Been one of the best players in the field.
He's good every week, mate.
What do you just mean this week? What do you just mean this week? Dan Vaccaro.
Apologies.
There's Willie Wheeler. Left foot kick. You just enter attacking 50 and Casey diving down low takes a nice slip mark. He's got the journey. He definitely got the journey. Matty, go back and have a shot from out there in front of the scoreboard. He'll have to kick this 52, 53 metres, pretty tight angle, Dan.
Yeah, he's darting the eyes, but he knows that he's going to have a shot.
He's going to load up from 50. Drop punt, definitely gets the journey, just not the accuracy through for a minor score. Been pretty quiet outside of the first goal of the day, which was a real interesting one.
We think it's his.
We think it is his. Could be Dan House.
And what a breath of fresh air Casey has been for Lee Williams as well this year, Bob. They've just been so fantastic together in that forward line.
Well, especially him going forward as a coach as well.
Yep. Wheeler back in towards the pocket. Koopman stays down. He's going to run onto this footy. He can do the magic. Congest Koopman fires it back outside attacking 50. Would have retreated 30 metres and Lockie Howe is there. Pretty much where Casey had the shot just a few moments ago. It's a congested forward 50 for Yarrawonga. He sends it in there. Williams floats to the front, got 2 hands to it, brought to ground. It's a big frame to bring to ground as well. Wilson got one high, doesn't matter, because he kicks the Sunjan goal today. Evades a tackle, swings around on the right foot and straight through the middle. No one on the goal line, Bobby Jackson.
Yeah, good small forward goal there. At the feet of the big fella there in Lee Williams. He brought it to ground like a good forward does, and
How good of a story that's going to be. He's going to be playing on grand final day in a couple of weeks' time after, I guess, the mishap he had in the off-season, and now that's just an unbelievable story.
It certainly is. Kicked 4 goals as well last game for the Yarrawonga Pigeons, and he's kicked one of the goals of the year today with a big barrel from 70. Wheeler fires it towards his brother. Harry wasn't able to mark. Does well at ground level, though. Sends Yarra back into attack. Cam Wilson, who kicked the last goal, runs around Charles Ledger, runs to 30 and finishes the Rovers. A wonderful finish from Cam Wilson. They were finished a long time ago, but extends the margin now to 82 points. 87 plays 15, and he's having a wonderful game as Cam Wilson.
Certainly is. We're running. Finished off like a good forward should, and it's just fill your boots now, and so much so that Pan has given him an extra 10 points. It's 72 points the diff.
Yeah, you're right. It is. Maths is never my strong suit, Bobby Jackson.
That's what I'm here for, mate.
I actually dropped maths in year 11, which almost illegal these days. As Philo goes out to Lockie O'Brien on the wing. Kicks it to Justin Lewis over his head. Will it find the boundary line? Urquhart just disguises it well.
How many times have we seen that today where the ball's just gone over the head or to the right? They just haven't given each other a chance to compete. You know, the kicks have been that bad, they just haven't had a chance to make it a 50-50 DVAC. It's been the kicking and handball being that poor, they just haven't had a chance.
Do you put the heat on the forwards, or have they just not had a fair crack at it today? Like you talk about Mark Clue, who's had a quiet day, but it's definitely not the forwards' fault.
It's not the forwards.
Yep.
Willie Wheeler just getting to work in the first few minutes of this last quarter. They kick down the wing. Ledger up against Casey. Bit of a mismatch there, but Ledger did well. Parnell under immediate Yarrawonga pressure. It falls the way of Will Nolan, though, who goes into the middle of the ground. Centre circle. Gerrish takes off, and Kennedy chased him down. Hard man to chase. Stone goes out wide. Lewis on a searching lead in front of Frontfelder marks. Too far out to score for little Juzzy Lewis. Goes towards Stone. Kick had too much on it. Roving this one was Gerrish, runs to 45 and kicks it out of bounds on the full. Does Jack Gerrish. No score, so still 72 points the margin, 87-15 on the Border Carpet scoreboard. Fourth quarter action, all thanks to Mac Jack Sheds. A big hello to Phil and the crew from Mac Jack Sheds. Over the head of a Yarrawonga player out there, and it trickles over the boundary line. So the sting well and truly out of this one, Bobby Jackson. We turn our attention now to the Blues, hey, up against the Lions.
Mate, just one step at a time. We've got to concentrate on what we're doing here. We've got a job to do.
What's happening in the Sydney?
Very professional answer there by you.
The Giants are beating Sydney 29-16 around the grounds for Mr. Stowe's Pool World.
My premiership tip, Giants.
Oh, come on. You're wearing a Hawk scarf, mate.
If Carlton don't win,
barrack for the Hawks.
Here come the Rovers, back into attack. Urquhart getting in a favourable position, not able to mark in defence, and we'll have a ball up inside the Rovers attacking 50. So Liam Scammer, we'll get you to jump in soon for the Newmarket Hotel. We'll just get you to find out maybe who is on that Yarrawonga bench if they are going to rest a couple of players in this final quarter. The ball goes over the boundary line, so we'll go back down to you, Scam, for the Newmarket Hotel.
Yeah, boys, Lee Williams has just come off 5 minutes in, and I'd suggest that's probably him done. He's obviously one of the big names that they'd want to look after.
Certainly.
The big fella's
3 goals.
He's pulled rank already, the big fella.
There's Fletch Ramage, the defender for North Albury, who's got a big job tomorrow, just enjoying the action here at the Norman's Oval. Bobby Jackson.
A little bit of a Jack Ginnivan sort of story about that.
He had a bucket of chips with him, I reckon, Fletch.
And a great Northern.
As McCarthy left foot kick towards goal is across the face through for a minor score. And the Rovers move to 1 goal, 10-16 to Yarrawonga, 13-9-87. So the margin at 71 points.
He didn't have a great Northern.
No, he didn't. He didn't. Timmy and the guys are watching this, I can assure you of that. And no, he did not have a great Northern.
It was a Carlton dry.
While you boys are blubbering on, I'll do it around the grounds for Mr. Stowe's Pool World at Kiwa Sandy Creek. It is Kiwa 3-4-22, plays Chilton Swans 8-3-51. 18 minutes and 40 seconds gone in the third quarter.
So it looks like it could be Chilton against Yak in the TDFL Grand Final.
That'll be
3 in a row.
We've got a boundary throw in right in front of our commentary position here at the Norman's Oval. We've watched a clinic from the Yarrawonga Pigeons today. Wheeler getting really busy. Kick finds Kennedy. Look at those quick hands. Ball doesn't sit, though, for Cam Wilson, who's kicked 2 goals in this last quarter. Kennedy goes again. Nolan was a grubber little kick. Finds Jack Gerish, trying to spark a little bit of life into the Rovers' defensive side of the wing. Kicks to half forward. Ryan Bruce comes across and takes a wonderful intercept. Wow. How many intercepts do you reckon Yarrawonga have had today, Dan Vicara?
Oh, mate, I can't even put a number on it, to be honest. They have been so good. Their defence is unbelievable today. I said it, I think, earlier in the day, but it's definitely the best defensive masterclass I've seen this year from any team.
They average 17.9 a game, Bob. They've hit that mark, haven't they?
19 by my count. I'm keeping count of intercept marks today, so yeah.
They're number 1 in the comp. That's why they set up so well defensively. Will McCarthy, he's been pretty good today for the Wangaratta Rovers. Gives it back to Lockie O'Brien. Runs out of room, does he? No, Big Gaston, the Frenchman, diving low into the pocket. And Gatto will line up a very, very tight angle in front of the away change rooms here at the Normans Oval. And he will have a shot from probably 35 metres out, as I said, tight up against the boundary.
Ruckman can't kick it from here. Bob?
I hope he turns around and says, shove it up, you clacker, Dan.
I don't reckon he'll turn around and celebrate
I've turned Dan. Ruckman.
So Gaston snaps it. Oh, I reckon he's kicked it to Frenchman Gaston.
No, hang on.
Well, the boundary umpire
What's he
is
supposed
saying...
to do?
So what's happened here, Bobby Jackson? Has he been called to play on?
He's been called to play on outside the line.
Because he was out of bounds when he took the kick, and then he...
So it's a boundary throw-in.
Yep.
Gatto has nailed it from 35 metres out. A big snap. As Dan said, he cannot kick this. He did do exactly that.
Yeah, but he cheated.
And now he's got a boundary throw-in.
I actually reckon that is the right call. He was out of bounds, and then he came around while he was still out of bounds.
He's supposed to come across the line before he goes in.
Yeah, you can't kick it from out of bounds.
But you see that 100 times in the AFL. I'm sorry.
That's the right rule. You can't kick it while you're out of bounds.
You can kick the ball out of bounds as long as you're going straight over the mark.
I beg to differ.
You can kick the ball from out of bounds.
Yeah, but he came back. He didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, no goal to big Shane Gaston and the Rovers, unfortunately. As Whooper Irvine goes down the line looking for Casey. Tom Boyd roves it. He's going to send the Rovers back in, but it was a real ordinary kick. Would have burned a few worms, I reckon. As Wheeler goes short to Nyholm. Look at Yarrawonga. Look at him flood forward.
Look at him run. Oh, my Lord.
They spread beautifully. Numbers everywhere. Goes out wide. This is Lovell at half-back. Chips it over the top. Finds Ryan Bruce.
Ryan.
Goes short back to Lovell. Just chipping it around here, Bobby J, aren't they?
Training drill.
You probably heard my brain ticking over there. I wonder what the longest chain of disposals Rovers was for the day. You got that stat, D-Back?
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Probably 2 or 3.
Imagine if we had a capable stat man. That'd be unreal.
Not a hungover one.
Oh,
just their ability to hold the ball when they need to and ability to press when they need to press. Yarrawonga has been super impressive today, and whoever plays them in a fortnight have got to do their homework and have got to go to school and got to find a way to get through this and work out a way how to beat this juggernaut, because what your Rovers have dished up today is nowhere near the mark.
They need more than school. They need university, I think.
Gerish goes out wide. It's been intercepted by Damien Wilson. And here Yarrawonga go again, right through the middle of Norm Mins. Irvine lowers the eyes. He just missed Frontfelder, though, and Nolan intercepts for the Rovers in the middle of the ground. Fires them back in. Marklew against Pendergast. Pendergast defends so well. Just lost the ball through his legs. Booth kicks it to the top of the goal square. Gaston not able to mark, and Holgate does his job every week, Big Matty.
He's a fantastic footballer, Matty Holgate, along with all the other key defenders there, and Pendergast as well, and they're such a good outfit, Yarrawonga.
Intercepts in defence. We'll go back down to the boundary. Liam Scammell, who I reckon was regretting the jeans choice earlier, but now as the shade and the coolness sets over the Normans Oval, are you pretty happy now, Scam?
Yeah, spot on, Panda, yeah. Paying dividends, mate. Paying dividends late in the day.
So McCartney runs away with the ball, slips over inside attacking 50, hand passes to Osborne, who fires it off to Stone, who snaps a goal. The Rovers kick their second through Dylan Stone at the 11th minute mark of the final term. 87 plays 22, I think. 2-10-22, yep. So the margin is at 65 points at the 12th minute mark for NZ.
The most extraordinary thing about this game is that Wangaratta Rovers have had more inside 50s than Yarra. They've had 48 inside 50s, and Yarrawonga have had 40. And look at the scoreboard, Bob. It's huge, isn't it?
I think we spoke about it in the pre-match. It's the midfield pressure that the Yarrawonga bring that affects the quality of the inside 50s. And you could have 100 inside 50s, but if they're dirty and horrible and ineffective, then it's not going to be much good to you. Whereas
it's almost like they welcome it, don't they? Yeah, and then they can rebound off it.
They almost feel comfortable defending in their own half, which is European style of soccer to play. Divac, being a European.
Love the beautiful game.
Except you go for Man United, who were pretty ordinary. Diving down low is Kennedy. A one-handed slips catch. Bobby J and Liam Scammell would absolutely love the look. I think it's actually Howe. It is. It's Big Lockie Howe. How about that one, Liam Scammell, for the Newmarket Hotel?
Yeah, in the left Duke, just resting forward, the big fella, and that's how you like it. Just nestled it nicely into the pocket there.
You have your big fellas going from fine leg to fine leg, Scam. You wouldn't find him in the cordon where all the intellects hang out.
I'll say it again, Ruckman can't kick.
No, Ruckman, I'm lucky.
This man can kick. He is a very good kick for a Ruckman.
Oh, listen to it.
He is the best user from a big boy in this comp. Is Lockie Howe. Comes in and nails it, Dan. Straight through the middle from Big Lockie Howe. 93 plays 22. Margin back out to 71. 13 minutes played for NZ. Final turn for Mac Jack Sheds.
Can't do no wrong, Yarrawonga. And how good was that by Lockie Howe? He's one of the premier ruckman in the competition, Bob. I know how much you love ruckman, and he's right up the top of the list.
Yeah, he is. He's been a quality player all year. Look, you blokes are just pushing that out. That's blown out of proportion. The ruckman are high quality humans, and some of them are intelligent, and the others aren't. So he's one of the intelligent ones, and there's a lot that aren't.
Names?
No, you've got no names. They've all got their purpose, and big men don't get any shorter late in the day. Scam, and he was he's going to be dangerous down there if things get out of hand. He could fill his boots as well.
Yeah, he's spot on. We mentioned about them resting a few of the boys, and he might just play out of the square for the rest of the day, the big fella.
So Justin Lewis has been swung into the middle, kicks it out towards Osborne at half forward, fires it back to Garish, who's showed a little bit of life in this second half. Ball use has just been a little bit questionable. On cue, kick into the middle of the ground, doesn't favour any of his Rover teammates. That's a sling tackle against Harry Wheeler. Yep, that was there.
No,
it was.
Come on, Bob.
It was there. The letter of the law reads that was a sling tackle. And Will McCarthy, who's been very good, I think, for the Rovers today, fires them back into attack. Good hands there from Mark Lew. Intercepted, though, by Urquhart. Picked up by... There's a free kick here. It's a high free kick. It's going to go the way of Dylan Wilson at the bottom of that pack against Benny Cokill. And Dylan Wilson will line up for back-to-back... No, not back-to-back goals, sorry. Because Lockie Howe just kicked one for Yarrawonga. I got a bit excited, Dan, but he'll line up for the Rovers third.
Good job, Panda. But yeah, Dill Wilson, he's had a real quiet day. I've only got him down for 4 disposals on the 40-wing stat sheet as well. So if he can get this goal, that'll be a positive take from this game into the next.
So Dill Wilson, lining up from directly in front, comes in and fires it through the middle. Makes the umpire work, but it's a goal for the Rovers. They're third. They go to 3:10:32. And Yarrawonga a 14:9:93. Sorry, 3:10:28. Dan Vaccaro.
Good maths, Panda. But yeah, what a finish here by Yarrawonga. They've been fantastic all day today. So 41 inside 50s for them. Willie Wheeler's been good since he shaked the tag. He's had 15 for the day. Perry Lewis-Smith, 20 and 2 goals. I still think he's probably player of the day. Mick Gibbons has also been good. 21 disposals for him. And all getting a lick of the ice cream.
Yeah, Mick Gibbons has been outstanding most of the day. Both Mick and PLS have been a little bit quiet in this last quarter, so the next 10 minutes is going to be interesting in regards to the player of the day, whereas Gibbo just got a clearance then.
Logan Morey's been pretty good as well,
yes,
as he fires Yarrawonga back into attack, and we have a boundary throw in right next to their point post, deep in the pocket, at a sun-bathed Normins Oval, not a cloud in the sky. A beautiful spring day. He's going to see Yarrawonga through to the grand final, their third consecutive grand final. Of course, minor premiers from last year. Dan Howe fires it back to Wilson, who's beset upon straight away, and we have a ball up in the pocket in front of that scoreboard.
Put Perry Lewis-Smith on ice, Bob. He's just casually strolling up and down the boundary line. He's looking very calm, getting ready for a big grand final.
Enjoy a couple of frothies tonight, probably PLS. Dan Howe brought down in a tackle and another stoppage. Same spot as the one about 15 seconds ago. So attention now turns to tomorrow's big game. And the Rovers will play either the Magpies or North Albury And that one will be at Birrelea Park in the preliminary final next Sunday. Another boundary throw in. Might go down to you, Liam Scammell. How's your man Gus McLeod going next year? Is he still
he's
awake?
He's going well, mate. Yeah, he's very comfortable. Still with us here, the big fella. Just taking it all in.
You might have to drive the way back to Albury. Scam.
Won't be me.
It definitely won't be you. Still blow over the limit. There's Dan Howe. Goes short, and it's intercepted by Cam Chamberlain. He goes short to Gerish, who streams out of defence. So 93 plays 28 here. Yarrawonga lead. Gerish down the wing, big pack, and there's a Rover player down on the far side, very slow to get up. I reckon it's Al Marklew, Liam Scammell, who looks like he's a little bit sore.
Yeah, just limping through there, boys, I think. A little bit sore, maybe a left ankle.
Of course, it hasn't been Al Muffad's day today. We've got a boundary throw in. Ovens River side of the ground. Howe getting down and dirty. And we've got a free kick here. No, a ball up. The umpire says, give it to me, as Gaston was streaming away. You can bit of a hard done by, I reckon, Gatto, in this last quarter, Bobby J.
Yeah, he's had a day where an experienced player shouldn't have to experience, so he probably was hoping for a better outcome for his his much beloved footy club. So he'll be hurting tonight big time, and he's going to draw on every part of every bit of pride that he's got in his Wangaratta Rovers footy club to bounce back next week, because there's an opportunity to play in the grand final, and they really need to do some soul searching over the next 24 hours and move on as quick as they possibly can, because they've got two sides tomorrow that are eager to either bounce back or keep moving forward and play in the grand final. So they've got to be ready.
And with your coaching hat on, Bob, do you sort of try and move on from this game, or do you really sort of stare down the barrel of it and figure out what we need to do and swallow that bitter pill, I guess, so to speak?
I'd bin it straight away. I'd absolutely bin it and move forward. They've played some really good football this year, and they've got to hang their hat on that.
Gibbons goes into attack. Howe got pushed in the back. Umpire says play on. As the Rovers clear defensive lines, boundary throw in, far side of the ground.
They've just got to move on as quick as they possibly can. We've been surprised if Sam's turned his back on the game and he's actually writing notes in regards to getting ready throughout the week. And he probably needs to put some players on ice. I'm not sure if Scam, the Rovers have got any more players that have come off, but planning forward is very much what he's thinking at this second.
Yeah, not yet from the Rovers, boys. Still all looks pretty well business as usual.
Apart from Jace McQuaid, obviously.
Apart from Jace McQuaid, yeah. And then Williams still the only one that's on ice down here. Actually, as I say that, Cam Wilson's icing our right hammy. Not sure if that's just precautionary or what.
Okay.
But,
we'll follow that one. We'll ask Stevie J after the game as Damien Wilson sends Yarrawonga back into attack. Howe resting forward, the big boy. Takes a lovely elite body and paint mark of the day, and Lockie Howe will line up for his second goal in the last quarter.
I reckon that bloke that just come off then, Scammer, where you're putting his whole body on ice. He's had an absolute day out.
Mickey Gibbons, they've rotated the big dogs through this last quarter and just sort of managed their game time. As I said, Williams has been the main one that they've sort of put on ice, but the other big dogs have sort of just rotated through.
That's because Lee Williams was actually on the tools earlier today, I reckon, over at the Green Street Bridge in Wangaratta, as Lockie Howe comes in and sneaks it home. He's got two, Lockie Howe, and Yarrawonga got 15. 15-9-99 to the Wang Rovers, 3-10-28, 71 points the margin once again. We had a chat with Lee Williams last Saturday, Bobby J.
Yep.
And he was on the tools working on the Green Street Bridge here in Wangaratta. And then the week before, in round 18, he did a couple of hours on the tools before he went out and kicked 3 against the Rovers.
Well, that's probably part of his process, and that's something that he likes to get his mind off the game before he plays. But the big fella's getting a bit older. He might need to look after that body a bit better.
Surely when he's the coach, he would park that, wouldn't you think, Dan?
Well, you should see what our man Bobby Jackson used to do when he used to go out.
Logan Morey, open goal square, bang! From Logan Morey, as quick as you like. And if anyone can go long, it's Logan Morey. That was the quickest goal we've seen from a restart this year, I reckon. And the Yarrawonga Pigeons got 16 just like that, Liam Scammell, for the Newmarket Hotel.
Yeah, beautiful finish there, boys. Beautiful finish. Just on the injury front on the Rovers side, Lockie McCartney looks like he's done for the day as well.
So what a game. Sorry, Panda, what a game Logan Morey has had today. I don't have his stats, I didn't take him, but he has been fantastic. And Yarrawonga, it's a training drill at the moment.
Certainly is. He's had a real good day today. Oh, PLS with another centre clearance. He's not done yet, the old fella.
So falling over there was Bailey Fronfelder. PLS dives on this footy like it's still the opening minutes of the game. He knows Bobby Jackson's circling as Lockie O'Brien goes down the wing, intercepted by Nick Whooper Irvine.
He wants the player of the day, doesn't he? He really
certainly
does, Perry Lewis-Smith.
Goes short, and it was intended for Fronfelder, but it's been marked by Williamson. Margin sits at 77 points on the Inspirations Paint Border Carpet scoreboard. Fourth turn brought to you by Mac Jack Sheds. We've played around 23 minutes. As Brody Philo says, I'll go one better, Jess Koopman, and I'll torp it across the ground with the most aggressive switch I've ever seen. And Jack Gerish is bouncing. 3 bounces to make it 4 bounces. Jack bounce a 5th, loads up from 45 and kicks the Sunjan goal of the day. Extraordinary team goal from the Wangaratta Rovers at the 23rd minute mark of the final term. Brody Philo with a 70-metre torp switch. Gerish takes 5 bounces. Where's that been, Bobby Jackson?
I don't want to sound like a smart ass, but exactly, where was that 3.5 quarters ago? That's, switching the footy, bit of flair, bit of dare. And I think someone smart at halftime mentioned that Brody Philo should have gone behind the footy where he's clean by foot and clean by hand and clean by decision. There you go there.
26 for the day for Brody Philo. He's been fantastic for Rovers.
That's extraordinary. I've never seen a torpedo punt switch that's gone 70 metres like that and a player bounce the ball 4 times and fire a goal from 45. Wowee. This game's had a little bit of everything. We've got another ball up, edge of the square. 4 to centre here for the Yarrawonga Pigeons. So game really opening up now in this 4th term for Mac Jack Sheds. Yarrawonga are through to their 3rd consecutive granny. The Rovers will play either the Magpies again in a 4th derby or the Hoppers. As Tom Boyd takes an intercept mark for the Rovers. Wants to switch straight away to Gerish. I reckon he can hold his head pretty high, Jack. He's played pretty well for the Rovers today.
17 disposals for him.
Pops it over to Parnell. Bit of work to do in defence. High up and under. Goes about 30 metres. Goes 60 in the air. And Yarrawonga breakaway through Fronfelder. Kicks it towards Casey. Has Ledger to beat. Ledger did well. Nyholm on this footy. Gets a nice grubber kick out towards Koopman, who gets a 1-2 from Wheeler. Koopman fires from 50. Top of goal square. Boyd does well. Last line of defence. Repels for the Rovers, and he goes short to Jack Gerish, who racks up his 18th 40 winks disposal. And I reckon his 15th bounce for the day. He takes 2, streams out of the fence, goes down the wing, but no one home, Bobby. No one home apart from Ned Pendergast.
Bobby's just tearing his hairs out.
Oh, but it's been the pattern of their play all day. They just had no system, had no thought, had no creativity going forward. It's just been the same old, a couple of bounces, blind kicking down the line, and it's
super predictable.
You can't miss targets by 3 or 4 metres and expect to be competitive on a second semi-final day. You've got to bring your A game every single time when you're playing in September, and they just haven't today, and they've been found out.
Cogill takes it out of the ruck quite athletically and kicks it to half forward. Shaganol and tries to switch. Oh, Wilson climbed the mountain with the best spoil I've ever seen over Lockie O'Brien. Does well, fires it off to Nyholm, kicks it towards the top of the goal square, and Tom Boyd takes another intercept mark for the Rovers. He plays on straight away. Once again, kick not great. Allows Wilson to come in and spoil Lockie O'Brien for the 2nd time in 30 seconds. Gerish sliding in at ground level. O'Brien with a one-handed hand pass and then an attempted fend-off. Was tackled straight away by a Pigeon. And after all that mess, we're going to have a ball up right in front of Liam Scammell for the Newmarket Hotel. Who are you starting to think, Scam? We like to get a little taste of who you're sort of favouring towards the Anytime Fitness Player today. Just a couple of names, please.
Well, when it was hot, I mean, Perry
Stevie
Lewis
J
Smith.
just said Ryan Bruce. So there you go.
Yeah, PLS, when the game was on early, PLS was hot. He's had a really good day. Mickey Gibbons obviously found a lot of the footy as well, probably between those 2 boys for me.
Ryan has been very good now that I come to think about it. Same as Logan Morey. As Wilson goes to Pendergast, and he's almost kicked it into the grandstand. Just stays in. McCarthy does well. PLS pops it over to Harry Wheeler. Left foot kick down the line has been marked by Ledger for the Rovers. So 105 plays 34 on the Border Carpet scoreboard. Yarrawonga in front, have been since the opening seconds of the day. They're marching towards...
Just look at the defensive run here late in the game. So many Yarrawonga guys pushing the D50 in the 100th minute of the game. They're just so disciplined.
Good kick, though, finds Justin Lewis. Too far out to score for Justin. Lockie O'Brien calling for the ball about 70 metres away. Kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Down there was Mark Lou, not able to mark. 2 Yarrawonga Pigeons to beat. In the end, I think the ball trickles over the boundary line as the crowd starts to disappear and get in their cars a little early. Score around the grounds, Dan Vaccaro, Mr. Stowe's Poolwell.
Yeah, Kiwa Sandy Creek, it is Kiwa 3-8-26, plays Chilton Swans 10-4-64 in the preliminary final.
All right, so you expect Chilton to take on Yakandana in the TDFL Grand Final next week, which will bring you on O&M Live as O'Brien off to Mark Lou, out of mid-air with an amazing Sunjan goal of the day. We've seen some goals in this game. O'Brien hand pass it to space, and Mark Lou, like Erling Haaland, just soccers it through the middle of the sticks, Dan Vaccaro.
Yeah, you had to bring up Erling Haaland, but yeah, no, fantastic goal there by Mark Lou. He's a classy player. He hasn't had his day today. It's been very, very tough for forwards for Rovers, and that would be putting it kindly, but yeah, no, he's been good. Lockie O'Brien, he started the game with 8 disposals in the first term, and he's only had 16 for the game, so he has gone quiet after quarter time, Bob.
But there's some creativity at the stoppage, running through at speed, creating some chaos ball, and Alex Marklew at the end of it. That creativity, we talked about the soccer goal kick. Well, let's see some more creativity moving forward. They've been a bit bland and a bit unskillful moving forward today.
105 plays 40 on the border carpet scoreboard. Yarrawonga in front, as they have been all day. Urquhart intercepts across true centre half back. His kick finds Cokehill. Flat-footed Rovers all around him. He'll eventually chase after a man. Cokehill goes out wide, finds Willie Wheeler. How many for Willie, please, Dan Vaccaro?
Willie Wheeler has had the 16.
Goes short to Nyholm, and he goes short to Frontfelder. Too easy, and he will line up from 45 out, 45-degree angle. Perfect Basil range, Bobby J.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what sort of celebration he's got for us. We love to celebrate, so this might be the icing on the cake. Be almost siren time, so he's got the centre stage and all eyes on him.
We've had 8 goals in this last quarter, which is 9 goals, in fact, so that's why we've gone 29 minutes for NZ. And Basil's already kicked 1. Will line up for his second late in this ball game. To put the icing on a sweet, sweet cake for Yarrawonga. He has. He puts the 2 arms out and says, how good are we? And Yarrawonga march into their 3rd grand final in a row. And they are going to take some serious beating on Sunday, the 22nd of September. 17-9-111 over the Rovers. 5-10-40, a 71-point margin and a clinic in the second semi-final.
Yeah, very much was. It was an unbelievable performance by Yarrawonga. As I said, I think it's the best defensive effort we've seen from any team in the O&M this season. That was just amazing to restrict Wangaratta Rovers, who are probably the second best team in it, Panda, to 5 goals in a game in a final is just unbelievable, and it's hats off to Yarrawonga.
Absolutely, as Bobby J and Liam Scammell just converge at ground level with who they think might be the Anytime Fitness Player of the Day, and just turn their mics off while they talk just a little bit.
PLS, I reckon, Panda.
I reckon Bobby's going to go straight to PLS.
No, but it's not up to Bobby, it's Scam, but he might just take over here, I think.
He's just inserting himself,
and
isn't
he? He's got it. He's going straight to PLS. He's got the
headphones on. He's going straight to Perry Lewis Smith, I reckon. Look at Bobby J with the strut out there. Just make sure we grab a photo for our O&M Live Facebook and Instagram page. He has demanded the headphones, and he is walking out towards the congestion of players in the middle of the ground here, the Normins. And we'll find out who our Anytime Fitness Player of the Day is.
It'll be 24-2 for Perry Lewis Smith today. It'd have to be him, I think.
I'll tell you what, now that Stevie J mentioned Ryan Bruce, he was brilliant in defence.
He was.
Logan Morey.
He might just...
Michael Gibbons.
Maybe there's a little bit of a twist here.
He is circling like a great white shark, is our man Bob Jackson. He is walking over the man with the bright pink boots. And he has gone straight up to Perry Lewis Smith.
What up, mate?
Look at the bromance go.
Hey, congratulations, PLS, BAG today, but it was a pretty tight game. You had a lot of contributors today.
Yeah, I think it was really well spread between the groups. So the week off just did us a world of good, and we really hit the ground running in that first quarter and really set the tone. So we did a great job, and super happy with it. So
One thing we noticed upstairs was the defensive work that you do as a whole unit. You know, once the ball got turned over in your forward 50, you worked it as a group all the way back, and they had next to no chance of getting clean ball into their forward 50.
Yeah, I think last time we played them, they came out pretty hard and were switching the ball really well. So it's something we worked on throughout the couple of weeks we had off, and we felt like we really shut them down and did a really good job of it. So and then attacked really well off the back of that.
And having a good win like this, you get to rest a few players and manage a few players through that last quarter. So that's good to not get too many injuries late in the game.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, having a bit of a lead helps in that sense. So, but we're super happy with it, mate. So, we'll rest and get ready for the big one.
Enjoy the win, mate. Well done.
Thanks so much, Bobby. Appreciate it, mate.
There we go. The romance lives on, and he's taken that. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Bobby Jackson with PLS. Posing together for photos.
We can't have that, can we?
Oh, I've seen it all on OM
We
Live.
can't have that.
That is inserting yourself. I've ever seen it before.
You might need to get your editing tool out, I reckon, Panda, and just cut him out of that
I'm
photo.
putting that straight in. Huh? He was outstanding, was Perry Lewis-Smith, as were the Yarrawonga Pigeons.
Yeah.
They were, from the 7th minute of the game when Casey kicked that strange opening quarter goal, they were just unbelievable, weren't they, Dan Vaccaro?
Oh.
It's going to take something, I think, very wrong for them not to win on grand final day.
It was a procession. That's probably the best way to put it. Yarrawonga were just faultless all day. And as you said, I think the only team that can stop Yarrawonga would definitely just be themselves. They've just been the best team throughout the year, and they deserve to be there. Some of their players were fantastic today. They all played their role. Mick Gibbons, 24 disposals. Perry Lewis-Smith, our player of the day, he had 24 and 2 as well, Panda. So just great players all around.
Absolutely. So we'll try and follow in this Yarrawonga song. Liam Scammell have to probably get his skates on, I reckon, as we head into the rooms. And Yarrawonga will sing this one nice and loud. 17-9, 1-11 over the Rovers, 5-10-40. So a 71-point margin. And it was real party time, wasn't it, in the second half, Divac?
Oh, as you said, like to think that they've been the second best team all year and Yarrawonga have just blown them off the park in that fashion in a final is, concerning for the rest of the competition, but it's unbelievable what Yarra have been able to do on the field this year.
Absolutely. We'll run through the goal kickers soon, but we might just miss the Yarrawonga song here as Liam Scammell sort of sorts himself out. Yeah, we might head to a break. So stay with us. Our post-game show on the other side of this for the Clubhouse Bar and Bistro. Yarrawonga through to their third consecutive grand final. They will take on either the Rovers, the Magpies, or the Hoppers. The three teams left, Dan Vaccaro, after a 71-point win over the Wangaratta Rovers. Stay with us, because on O&M Live, you will not miss a thing.
What's your future look like? Where do you want to be? Shaping lives through nursing? Building communities through community services? Maybe caring for animals through veterinary science? With GoTAFE by your side, you can make it happen. From agriculture, hospitality, health and wellbeing, trades and education, to hair and beauty or creative, learn real skills for real jobs and careers right now. With GoTAFE, you've got this. Search GoTAFE today.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend, we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
.0% alcohol. This changes everything. Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
The rumours are true. We're heading to the Riverina. That's right, fifth quarter camps is heading to Albury and Wagga Wagga this October. We'll be in Albury on Tuesday the 8th and Wednesday the 9th of October. We'll then be in Wagga Wagga on the 10th. Isaac and I will be bringing plenty of our teammates along for the journey. We can't wait to see you all there. Head to Fifth Quarter Camp's website for more details. See you soon.
At 2AY, we're your home of live sport. Every weekend we bring you the best live broadcasts of the Ovens and Murray football and netball. Listen this weekend on your radio or the 2AY app.
Pain or injury can stop you from living life to the fullest. Albury-Wodonga Private Hospital specialises in advanced orthopaedic services and offers a full range of care from diagnosis to surgery and rehabilitation. Get back to the life you love with our support.
Half price until half time is on in the locker room. Watch Friday night AFL footy action live on our big screen and get half price selected beers until half time. On now in the locker room at the SS&A.
The Ovens and Murray Football League is proudly sponsored by Opal. Thinking packaging? Discover Opal.